On their off-season by taking care of a little coaching business. Yesterday, the team announced that now that he's cancer-free, assistant Terrell Williams will be given a high-ranking role on staff. This officially opens up the defensive coordinator position, which was, for all intents and purposes, filled by linebackers coach Zach Core this past season. The USA hockey team got a pair of goals from Brock Nelson. They beat Latvia 5-1 in their first game of the Winter Olympics. Connor Hellebuck added 17 saves in net. The U.S. plays Denmark tomorrow. As for the U.S. women, they swept their 4-game preliminary schedule to play the host country, Italy, in the quarterfinals this afternoon. The NBA's All-Star Weekend begins tonight in L.A. The Celtics' Ron Harper Jr. will take place in the Rising Stars Tournament. That's as part of the G League team. The All-Star Game Tournament, starring Jaylen Brown, will begin late on Sunday. And ESPN is reporting that NBA expansion is up for discussion this spring and summer. Seattle and Las Vegas remain the front-runners for a franchise. One Western Conference team will be moved to the East. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Diving, and he's got a breakaway. Goes to the backhand. Throws it in. Draw coming to the spot. The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher.
You might hate me, but you're listening.
And Hardy.
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
On 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah. Boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy.
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
The hallway.
I am what I am. It's sexy.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy. Town Fair Tires Studios, 617-779-0985. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Download the podcast wherever you can download podcasts. Big show today. Cedric Maxwell, Bert Breer, Kendra will be on at 9. Lots of fun things going on.
Oh, we got all kinds of stuff.
You know what I'd forgotten is they're showing it on TV right now is that Stephon Diggs is in court today.
Yeah.
And then next month is when Barmore goes into court.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a big thing for Barmore because I suppose if this goes, he can be released, I believe, with very little penalty right now. So, same with Diggs, but
Diggs is due $6 million guaranteed, I believe, by March 13th.
And he's a $20 million deal. If they retain him this year, it will be $20 million. So, but Diggs seems a little sketchier, I guess, than I don't really know what's going on. But the Barmore thing seems like there's more going on there, so it will be interesting to see. It's funny how that all. I forgot about all that during the Super Bowl run.
Funny, I guess they would probably make similar accommodations for other people, but how Diggs specifically was able to put his off until 3 days after the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like whether the calendar just happened to align like that or whether that's something that I don't know if you get it going in representing yourself. I guess, though, with a good lawyer, you could probably have something done for, one of us.
Well,
like
speaking of that, Ryan Beaton just pointed out on here that yesterday Stephon Diggs changed his counsel.
It's very odd.
So there's this court date might even get pushed out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'd assume it would be, I guess.
Yeah. Excuse me, Your Honor, I'm new to the case. Need some time to review the materials. Yeah.
You could be a lawyer, John.
Felony strangulation is the charge that he is facing.
But he's not been indicted on that charge.
No, this is just a hearing. No, it's
no, but he's not like defending himself against the strangulation.
No. That's the case in question.
Yeah,
is all
right.
I'm saying.
No, I know. I'm just making it clear for everyone that he's not like this isn't a case of like where they're going to figure out if he strangled her or not. This is just a preliminary thing. I don't know if he's been formally charged with these things yet.
The arraignment is today, but I don't understand this stuff. I don't know what that means. I don't know what level that means the case is at. I don't know.
Well, judging by what's going on in the government with all these cases coming out that never make it even past the first hurdle of actually going into a trial, I would assume that with cases like this, there's a preliminary situation where they see if it's worthy of going to a full trial. I don't know if he pleads in this or what happens, or they just go and the judge sees if this is worthy of trial, or if I don't know what happens here. But that's my assumption.
Yeah, but whether the Barmore case has any more, meat on it or not, the one thing I think we all noticed was it seemed like the team got out in front of and I guess paradoxically got behind Stephon Diggs pretty quickly.
Day of, as soon as the story broke, what was the official statement? We stand with Steph?
Yeah. I don't remember a similar statement with Barmore.
No. Well, the reason I said that they seem different is Barmore apparently, well, first of all, it was like the mother of his kid, right? And then, to my knowledge, there was photos of the damage that was done. There just seemed to be a lot of evidence, I guess. I mean, nothing's been proven yet. It just seemed to be like there was a lot there. And with the Diggs thing, it was over money. And, there was a money aspect to it, which is, we'll see. I don't know. Yeah. I have no idea.
A so-called salary dispute with his personal chef.
Right. So I don't know what that all, comes down to.
Okay, so
I do know that him and Cardi B are no longer dating. Did you know that?
Apparently that happened during the Super Bowl. They unfollowed each other on Instagram, and it was a whole thing.
So here's
Is she pregnant with his kid?
I don't know.
I thought she had the kid.
I've lost track.
Oh, so she had his child.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay,
we don't know a lot.
The statement on Diggs from the Patriots. Stephon has informed the organization that he categorically denies the allegations. We support Stephon. We will continue to gather information and cooperate fully, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Statement on Barmore. The Patriots are aware of reports regarding a February arraignment involving Christian Barmore. Patriots were made aware at the time of the incident and informed the NFL in a timely manner. It remains an ongoing legal process. We will respect the process and no further comment. It's just that one line that's missing.
Yeah.
Or two of them. Number one, Diggs saying that he categorically denies it, and the Patriots make a statement, and they say we support him. There's no mention of support of Barmore from the Patriots in their statement.
Did you ever read something and you wish you were there? This is not about one of these cases, but it's about someone ancillary to it. Cardi B. She was doing her Little Miss Drama tour Wednesday, and she was fighting back tears. She was on stage. She was fighting back tears. She says, I do not want to get emotional. I just want to tell you that don't let nobody take your happiness away from you. She concluded before singing her song with Maroon 5, Girls Like You. So imagine you're there and you're getting this raw emotion. I hope Stephon Diggs isn't the guy that took away her happiness.
No.
Or got in the way of her happiness.
And shame on all of us for not remembering that Baby Brim was born in November of 2025.
Indeed. But I wonder if anyone from the Five showed up at that. It was in Palm Desert. So you got to figure that the guys from the 5 would be at least around the area.
Yes.
One of the Maroon 5.
At least sauntering by.
Certainly.
Oh, what's this hubbub?
Yeah, like you want to show up and play the bass on this track?
Slap some bass for you.
I can get in there. I can do it. And then maybe we go into this love's been taking its toll on me. Don't even try to sing it. No. See, I was singing the background vocals.
Oh.
See, when you try to step into the lead singer's shoes.
Oh.
See, I was just being one of the 5. You were trying to be Maroon.
Dum, dum, dum.
Yeah. I always, when we started, they tried to get Harder to Breathe by Maroon 5 to be on alternative radio when they first came out. So I was always, at least at 99X. And I always thought it was funny that band got together and they were like, this is the sound.
Oh.
This is what we want to do. We're 5 guys. It's getting harder and harder to breathe. This is the sound. Yeah. Who are we influenced by? Real crap.
Oh.
Real crap are our influences. What's the next song, man? You're the hit maker.
I don't remember Maroon 5. What year do you think that was?
Well,
they're trying to work it to alternative.
Before 2006. But I know we played it, and then I went, what the hell are we doing with this song? This sounds like Justin Timberlake. And then we stopped playing it. Maybe not because of what I said, but...
02.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, we played Harder to Breathe. And it sounded... Remember, that was the height of Justin... I don't think it's a coincidence. I think Maroon 5 probably changed their sound to sound a little bit more like Justin Timberlake because he was like the biggest musical star in the world at the time. I find that very difficult to believe that wasn't the case. And we started playing it, and I went, what the hell is going on? I think I was doing mornings at that point, and I'm like, what are we playing? Like, what is this? This is Justin Timberlake. And I think we only played it for a couple weeks, but we did play it. And it destroyed their career, They never got over not getting played on 99X again.
That's right.
Like so many other bands. Nicholas is in here. He's getting Peacock on. He's doing a better job today. John got him in here. Just like Hardy.
What's on this morning?
We have Sweden against Finland this morning.
That's not a bad game.
No, it's not.
So just like Hardy got Ryan beaten to give him a Celsius yesterday.
That was really nice, Ryan. Thank you.
Bitch. Hardy was like, get me a Celsius. And I went, then I saw Ryan actually in there, and I'm like, don't get him a Celsius. And I said, wait a second, do get him a Celsius. Because then he's going to feel like a real dick.
The best is he didn't ask Ryan. He asked me to ask Ryan.
I believe I instructed you both. I said, tell that little bitch to get me a Celsius.
That's what it was, yeah. Through the talk back into the control room.
Yeah,
but he'd already left the control room, so I had to holler out in the hallway for him.
I don't know what era of we'd have to go back to where you could actually boss around employees like that, though. But it had to be pretty great for the ones bossing them around.
I mean, that happened at the beginning of our radio careers, right? I mean, you probably got bossed around a little bit yourself. You probably saw it happen a little bit.
I don't think it's. I wouldn't ask anyone here to do it, but I don't think it's if you're on the air and you're hosting a show and you can't leave the studio, and you need something to ask someone to go get it for you.
Yeah,
I don't think that. I just knew that you wouldn't do that. That you did want Ryan to get you a Celsius, but not enough where you would really ask him to do it.
Zoe still does it, and I unironically. But it's only with the interns. But he will yell for the interns to bring him water. Zoe has a lot of choking incidents. He almost chokes on things pretty regularly. So he will yell to the intern, "Bring me water! Hurry up!" And sometimes they don't even know where the water is. But they got to figure it out.
I'm asking. Well, at Mitch Albom, when I interned for Mitch Albom, I would have to go pick him up at the Free Press. I would have to run errands for him.
Did you have to walk in and pull his hair down to cover his ears?
No,
Come
that
here
was
and stretch my hair.
No, he had someone at the house. He wouldn't leave that up to an intern.
He has not changed that hair in 30 years.
So Mitch Albom has disturbingly. If you don't know who Mitch Albom is, was probably the most famous sports writer in the world, and he wrote for the Detroit Free Press.
Oh yeah, after Tuesdays with Maury, that was a huge thing.
Right, and I heard someone on one of the stations. I heard someone on Mad Dog. I think it was Pete Prisco, and he was saying that he had been at the longest stretch of Super Bowls in a row covering them, but if he hadn't been, it was Albom. And I guess because only a few people got to do the COVID ones, and Prisco was one of them, and Albom was one of them. But Albom used to do the sports reporters on ESPN on Sunday mornings, and he has gigantic ears. But what Albom would do is he would cover them with his feathered hair. Like he would feather it over his ears.
Yeah.
And you would never know that he had big ears at that point. Just like Paul Stanley grew long hair because I was missing an ear. And that's why I was covering up my ear.
But Albom, it's whatever. I don't know what the ears look like uncovered. But still, when he grows his hair down to like halfway down over his ears, nobody
it
does
hides
that.
the ear, right? Yeah, it hides his ears.
But then you look at it and you're saying,
well,
like,
you
trying
have you have no idea. It'd be like if he wore a hat and stuck his ears in it. You would never know he had big ears. Did you have a guy in Boston, John,
Yes.
that every Thanksgiving or something wrote a story about a white kid getting shot in a bad area?
I'm trying to think. Nothing comes to mind.
Because
like that.
every Thanksgiving, and I know, Hardy, you have to remember this. It still happens. He still does it. But there was always like some sad story that he wrote, like some big, like, long ass column about, a tragic death. And generally it'd be like a white kid that got shot, like in East Detroit.
No, our sports column, we had obviously Will McDonough and Peter Gammons were the two when I was younger.
Yeah,
nothing like what you're talking about.
They just kept it to the sports.
Yes.
See, Albom got to stretch his legs a little bit. Albom got to stretch his legs.
The Albom column that I remember the most was when they sent him down to cover the Masters, and they're like, okay, and just write what you're going to write. And he went and found a bunch of the caddies who worked at Augusta National, the guys who used to caddy for Tom Watson and Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus when you used to have to take an Augusta caddy when you played in their tournament. And sometime in the 80s, I think, they changed the rule. Like, no, you can bring your caddies. And he said these guys went from being able to make a living, like for the year, off of what they made during Masters Week to just sitting around the caddy shack wondering if anybody was going to call in sick or if they needed it. And it was kind of jarring at the time because you weren't used to seeing someone like crapping all over not just an event, but like the entire enterprise when it was still being celebrated. It's like, no, it's the Masters. This was probably in the early 90s when he wrote this column. But it's been, as you said, Fred, with the Thanksgiving thing, it's been reprinted and repurposed many times since then.
Well, I remember he went to the Iditarod a couple times, and like people lost their minds.
Oh yeah.
He won all kinds of awards for that.
Huh.
And he was in the rock bottom. I know everything about him because I interned then worked for him. It was he was in the rock bottom remainders with Stephen King and Dave Barry, the very funny Dave Barry, the Miami Herald syndicated humor columnist, who sometimes you can find in Parade magazine.
So, yeah, the Sunday Parade, sure.
Yeah, he's got some interesting musings that are a lot of fun.
It's a slice of life.
Can you imagine that packet of cool dudes, Albom and Dave Barry and Stephen King all up there just rocking out tunes?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Mitch played the keys. Don't worry about him. Yeah, he played a little keyboard.
What did Dave Barry play?
The laughs, the yucks. He just did the in-between song patter. He was the Paul Stanley of the group. All right. Listen, I'm too swept up in this Finland-Sweden. We can play a game when we get back. Who is a professional hockey player?
Well, these guys have more professional hockey players than others.
Well, I know, John. That's why I want to play the game. If it was France, then there's one guy. I believe France has one professional hockey player, and I don't think we'd be able to name him. They have a lot of National Hockey League players, but I can't imagine all of them are National Hockey League players. Do you think there's a full team worth of Swedish and Finnish? Well, you don't look.
No, I don't think there is.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So we will see. We'll be back in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. And Hardy, well, first of all, Finland is now up 1-0 on Sweden. You know, as these early preliminary matchups go in Olympic hockey, there is a lot of crap. They've put them into, what is it, John, 4 groups, and you play each team of that group one time.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the United States and Canada in their groups, they're never going to face anyone remotely close to them, so they're just going to blow them all away. I mean, like Italy has a team, and they wouldn't have a team if they weren't hosting the Olympics. France has a team that's got one NHL guy on it. Mm-hmm. Didn't the U.S. play Latvia yesterday, or
yes,
Canada?
Latvia.
I take it Latvia's team isn't very good.
No, they're not.
So, you know, Sweden, one of them, didn't Sweden win a gold medal not so long ago, I believe? Either Finland or Sweden won a gold.
Finland, I think, won the last Olympic gold.
Okay, Finland did. Okay, so there you go. I knew it was one of them places. Let's play a game called Are They a NHL Player? I will just do a few players.
Okay.
I know Flip Forsberg is. Elias Lindholm obviously is. Nylander is. I'm going to just go through very quickly like what I know out of forwards. So Sebastian Aho is. Mm-hmm. Lehkonen guy or whatever his name is. Is. Okay, so out of forwards, that's where I'm very comfortable.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Jesper Bratt.
He is.
Johnny knows everything. Joel Eriksson. Okay, I believe you.
Good.
Joel Eriksson Ek.
He is.
Yeah.
Pontus Holmberg.
No clue. I'm going to guess no.
Adrian Kemp.
Yes.
Landeskog is.
Landeskog, very good, yes.
Elias Patterson.
Yes.
Or Pedersen.
Yes, I think he is.
Ricard Raquel.
Yes.
Which sounds like the dirty movie that George rented and didn't rewind.
From Milan to Minsk.
Yes.
Lucas Raymond.
Yes.
Look at you. You play fantasy hockey still?
No.
Oh.
I'm out of the Rook League. Been out for 3 years now.
Yeah, it didn't make much sense. Very hard, the scoring, very difficult to ascertain how that went on.
After a while, I don't think
you just select your team. Dude. Yeah, then Rucker would do his gorilla math on the standings and tell you if you won or lost.
Well, there was stuff like penalty minutes, and I'm like, what's going on?
Hits, penalty minutes, shots.
Yeah, dude, what am I supposed to be doing here?
And then it all came down to how good your goaltenders were.
And then after the first 2 rounds, you're like, I don't know who any of these guys are anymore. Lucas Raymond.
He is.
Yeah, I think that I recall that. Alex Wenberg.
Yes.
Mika Zibanejad,
right?
So I take it that's true.
Well, I'm guessing. I'm not looking. It's Zibanejad because I think it is.
Well, he doesn't.
I'm going to go with you, dude.
Okay.
I mean, you know.
I think if it's Zibanejad,
you're actually impressing me. So we figured maybe one guy's not an NHL.
Yeah, this is a legit NHL team.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Joel, Aho obviously is.
Yeah.
Joel Armia.
Yes, he is.
Well, Mikael Granlund or Granlund.
I'm not sure.
Garnlund.
Not sure. I think he is, but I'm not sure.
Eric Halla, yeah?
Yes, he played for the Bruins.
Yeah. I knew.
Halla.
Oh.
Halla.
Mazel tov. I think I knew that. Roop Hintz.
Yes. Dallas. Yes.
Jesus, Jonathan. Capo Caco.
Yes. Very high draft pick, played for the Rangers for a while. Yes.
Holy moly. Oliver
Cabo Wabo? Who?
Eddie Trunk. Oliver Kapanen.
Don't know. I would assume not. Don't know.
Turi Lehkonen is.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Anton Lundell.
Yes.
Eetu Luonarunaroni.
Is it Luosterainen? I think that's Florida.
Okay.
I think.
We did Mikko. We got that. Teuvo
Teravainen.
Jesus Christ, John.
Oh, okay.
Eli Tolvanen.
I don't know.
Eeli Tolvanen.
I'm going to guess yes. I don't know.
Well, no, you're guessing now, but I just wanted to know.
That was impressive.
Now I want to do defenseman. All right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Not a lot happened last night, so just allow me to go through this. Because are you not impressed with Jonathan here?
I am.
I am pretty. Rasmus Anderson.
Don't know.
Philip Broberg.
Yes. Either has been in the past. I don't know if he still is.
Rasmus Dahlin.
Rasmus Dahlin was the number 1 overall pick. He plays in Buffalo.
Okay. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, obviously. Gustav Forsling.
Yes, Florida.
We obviously know Victor Hedman and Erik Karlsson.
Yep. One name that is not on there, by the way, you're reading Team Sweden.
Yeah.
Hampus Lindholm.
Yeah, because he's hurt.
Not there. Yes.
Miro Heiskanen.
I think so. Not sure about that one.
These two guys are Ali Mata is okay. So I know this Finland a little bit better. Nicholas Montipalo.
I
okay.
Don't know.
Nico Heiskanen also on Dallas.
Okay.
Nico Mikola.
Never heard. Don't know.
Rasmus Ristobamelan.
I don't know. I don't know that one.
Ristolanian. All right, so by that, Finland has a undeserved lead because we couldn't name as many, or Johnny couldn't name as many players.
But Mikola's plays for the Panthers right now.
Okay.
All right.
Does he play or is he a healthy scratch?
I don't know. There are issues with the ice down there that Felger and Maz were dissecting yesterday. Down there, over there, whatever.
The NHL insisted on the Olympic rink. But because the Italians got stubborn about keeping their metric measurements.
Shocker.
And that's why we got this verkakta thing, and the corners are off. Like the
What's verkakta mean?
It's Yiddish for silly.
Oh, that's right.
Nonsensical.
He's taking Yiddish and making it his own, even though he's very goyim.
That is a joke, that rink.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Those arguments. Tony can do that.
He can. He's allowed.
Tony can do that. That's when black guys say the N-word. Yeah, that's allowed.
That's the only reason why I wanted to play it.
Yeah.
But those arguments, when they were arguing, hand movements were involved.
We give you some pasta. It's
What you talking about?
Yeah, see, don't get on Maz. He's Italian. He can do whatever he wants.
Hang with ladies.
Oh, okay. But that made me laugh when Master.
Like the rink is a joke, that rink.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Don't they have? Yeah, I mean, it's all about amore down there, you know?
That's right. Yes, the U.S. took on whatchamacallit, Latvia yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. Weird first period, couple of goals under review.
Latvian Orthodox.
Yes.
A lot of the people.
And all the U.S. players, well, they had the Kaborka going.
Out in front for Nelson. He scores!
You have to wear a dead fisher on Connect.
That's right.
Does anyone know what we're talking about? Latvian Orthodox, the Kavorka. It's all Seinfeld, baby. Hardy and I let him fly. Don't worry about it.
Brock Nelson scored to make it 2-1. He would score again later on to make it 4-1.
Brock Nelson sounds like a bully in high school.
Mm-hmm. And then All-American.
Brock Nelson was mean to me.
And
Narc.
All-American Austin Matthews with the Kappa.
Jack Eichel. Austin Matthews score! Second power play goal for the United States. It is now 5-1.
There you go. The U.S. rolling in their first Olympic game yesterday.
It was explained to me why the United States gold medal, or let's just say the United States makes the gold medal game, why United States, Canada, or the gold medal game in general is going to be on at 8:30 in the morning. There was like the NHL wouldn't want that, and that's true. Do you guys know why it's on at 8:30 in the morning?
Yes, we talked about this yesterday. Closing ceremonies are later in the day, right?
No, but there's events after that. But do you know why?
No.
Because NBC doesn't care. NBC doesn't want it in prime time.
That's bad. That's really bad.
No, yeah. NBC was like, put it whenever you want. I don't care.
Compared to women's singles figure skating, like I got one.
That was exactly what the parallel was. Is that they would want figure skating a million times over
the
hockey.
gold medal game for hockey. The ratings are infinitesimal compared to what figure skating gets.
Yes, and that was the thing, is that if you're looking for prime time games, hockey is around one of the last things that they would want. I mean, sure, like biathlon and curling and things like that. But like for us, who I would take it you're like me, the only thing you care about is the hockey. That, I mean, I know Hardy's a big-time snowboarder and will defend them to the death with their easy races.
Border cross.
Yeah, very easy. Very little ramps. The ramps are almost just little bumps.
It's not about the ramps. It's about the speed.
Then why do they put ramps in there?
Why did they put ramps in a BMX track? Is it so that you can do cool jumps?
If you are ahead by enough, you can stick the end out a little bit and show them a little bit of your tail.
Well, the 18 seconds you spent watching border cross, maybe there wasn't a guy with a big enough lead.
No, they did. There were guys doing cool stuff off of it. There was a guy who did like a method air. There was. He did like a little method air. He grabbed the board. He did.
So what are you complaining about? There were cool jumps or not cool jumps?
If the object of the race is to get to the bottom,
yeah.
Why are there not cooler jumps? Because there's like one jump, and then the rest of them are just these like little platforms where you can get like a tiny bit of air, but nothing big. You got to build a bigger ramp.
Okay.
Hardy got very defensive about
tabletop. No, because you started talking about how easy it was.
Oh, it's
despite
pretty
the
easy.
fact that you've never been on a snowboard.
Well, I didn't say I could do it, but I say as these things go, alpine skiing seems way harder, because you're going way faster and you got to get in those sticks. You know,
without anybody next to you trying to bump you off and knock you down.
I saw no contact between those riders.
Well, then you weren't watching very closely.
Oh, I had my eyes on it.
There's all kinds of contact.
Perry was in here. I was paying no attention. I was locked in on that thing. You could ask me anything. I actually had the sound on in my ear. I had Bluetooth in my headphones. I was like Forsberg.
That's why Nick was in here so long. He's giving you a direct wire from the TV to your head.
Exactly. I'm like, when we have a guest on, just can you put the game in? Can you put I know snowboarding's coming on. Can you put it in my ear? No, I just don't. I don't do any of these winter sports. They actually are sort of depressing. It's because it's winter.
And they're cold.
It's 2 weeks.
All of them are cold.
It's 2 weeks geared towards Scandinavia. I mean, think about it. 2 weeks of the year, you pay attention. You see these events. 95% of which you would.
Scandinavia?
There's nothing wrong with Scandinavia. What I'm saying is it's
John's
much
views.
tougher to pay attention to it. That's all. We don't do a lot of it here.
Yeah, John's one of these
very small asses over there.
That's their problem, right
see,
there.
That's what it
Yeah,
is.
it's tall blondes. John has no time for that. Give John a nice portly, nice portly exotic gal.
Give me a low center of gravity. That's what I'm looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So we have Sonny Gray from yesterday. We're probably going to want to wait on this because he not only talks about the rotation, but he singles out one guy in particular that he is very impressed with on the Red Sox.
All right.
But I don't want to rush Sonny. So
I will be down in spring training not so long from now, like a little over a month from now. And I got my son's schedule for his summer. And gentlemen, don't get too nervous. But I got Hoover and Atlanta back to back.
Oh, nice. Beautiful.
That's nice.
So what are you doing this summer, Fred, for vacation? Don't worry about it. I'll be at Hoover, Alabama.
Well, you know the lay of the land. You know where to go now.
And then directly after that, I will be in Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, that's a good thing for you, though, isn't it? If you're in Atlanta, Georgia.
It's better than Hoover, Alabama, but it's back to back, and it's all my vacation time in the summer. So, I mean, not the greatest.
Well, I'm looking on the bright side here. At least Atlanta, it's a place you're familiar with, you like.
And my son is, especially for travel, only pitches. So again, we've been over this. If a tournament has 5 games, my son will pitch. Certainly, he'll start one, and then in a pinch, he could come in to relieve in another. So best case scenario, he's pitching in 2 of the 5 games.
Real quick, when he starts, how far does he go? 3 innings?
Oh no, he'll pitch longer than that if he pitches well. But that's the thing is that you fly down these tournaments, and if you don't if you don't pitch well, they're obviously going to take you out. Then he would pitch again. He wouldn't start again, but then he would be able to pitch again because of innings. But
you know, my buddy Steve, whose son pitches at Eastern. Yesterday when I talked to him, they were heading out for Arkansas because they're always going somewhere for something, and he'll be playing around in that New England league this summer. So I'll get a chance to see him pitch again there. But they're going to Arkansas for a week, like right now, for something.
I wonder if he's trying to transfer. I wonder if he's trying to get on someone's radar.
I don't know.
Down there. All right, we'll be back or it might be just Eastern Michigan is down there because I know Rollins already started playing.
The Eastern Michigan head coach just signed with the Red Sox this past. I guess right after the offseason, he's field coach. And remember we had that discussion. What is a field coach?
Yeah, I'm not even positive.
Yeah, I had to look it up. I think it's mostly player development.
See, I haven't experienced the level where they have field coaches. That's a little over my area of expertise. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots will reportedly move defensive coordinator Terrell Williams to what's been reported as a high-ranking role on staff that leaves his old job open. Linebackers coach Zach Core, the guy who called defensive plays all season.
92, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
IYKYK, which obviously YD. Okay?
Dutcher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy. All right, Hardy, what's going on?
All right, Red Sox, as John was mentioning earlier, all players are there in camp. They're ready to go. First full workout happens on Monday.
Sunday,
excuse me.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. But Sonny Gray, talking about being a part of this pitching rotation.
As you keep going down, you've got guys who have pitched at the top of rotations, pitched in playoffs, have had a lot of success in their career. It's hard to say. You know, on paper, it's as good as I've been a part of. And they're great guys too. We're all kind of lumped there together. I mean, I've enjoyed getting to know them as well. So yeah, on paper, it's probably as good as I've been a part of for sure.
And the, I would say, chief reason or only reason they are picked to win as many games as they are right now, as we went over the FanGraph numbers yesterday. But he said there is one pitcher in particular in the rotation that he was impressed with. Brian Bayo.
I mean, he's gross. He's gross. I did.
Oh, I don't like that. What is he? He's got IBS or something?
I mean, he's gross.
What?
Why?
He's gross. I came away with that impression. That impression today was like, I'm gonna say crap. Holy crap, he's gross. Yeah, I saw that he was throwing a curveball. I didn't know that that's new. So thank you for that information. Sinker is disgusting.
You know, Bayo's working in the curve.
New pitch.
Yeah, how about that?
New pitch.
Old dog, new trick.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on is Sunday. They will begin in earnest.
That curveball is going to get him to the second or third inning in the playoffs.
Well, apparently Verlander just added a new pitch, and that's why he's still pitching, is because he can't rely on his fastball anymore. Like halfway through last season, I guess his fastball was getting shelled, so he decided I got to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So he started throwing his fastball a lot less, and because I guess it's like 93 now instead of 99 because he's in his 40s.
Yeah, that's to be understood, yes.
Yeah, and so but it's amazing that these guys, even at the highest level, they're still working on stuff. I mean, it's why everyone knows the story of Mariano Rivera. He was just a guy, and then he was screwing around and figured out how to throw that crazy ass pitch, and from then on he was unhittable. It's you think of arm strength and you think of all these things, and it can just come down to mastering one off-speed pitch, and there you go. You're off to the races.
Well, I'll tell you who else is in his 40s, and that is LeBron James, but that didn't stop him from messing around last night and getting the triple-double. Oldest player to ever get a triple-double. He not only scored or assisted on the first 23 points, or a stretch of 23 points in the first quarter. With 2 minutes left in the game, he grabbed his 10th rebound, and that was enough.
I'm sure that was legit too. I'm sure everyone didn't just clear out and let him get the ball. How many times did that bounced before he picked up that 10th rebound?
LeBron, quick, go get it.
Yeah,
that's the one.
It's bouncing to the point where it's just laying still on the floor.
What was the score of that game? I want to know.
Well, they were playing Dallas without Cooper Flagg, so I have a feeling it wasn't close.
Yeah, and I wonder, exactly. I wonder if he would have been in that game had he not been so close to that triple-double.
Well, he had not played previously. He's dealing with arthritis
they were up by 20.
in his foot.
Yeah.
And he's also missed enough games now to where he's not eligible to be an all-star.
No, he's not eligible to be All-NBA. He is an all-star. He's not eligible to be All-NBA.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I understand.
So that'll be the first.
Yeah, you didn't you say now you understand what I meant. Oh,
I did.
But isn't it nice to be checked by a real basketball expert? Yeah, you have to play. What do you have to play? 62 games or something? 65 games to be All-NBA, and he now has not hit that threshold.
Well, man, what is he, 41?
41. He,
what he's doing is very impressive.
Yeah,
it's unprecedented.
Karl Malone was the last old guy to get the triple-double, and he was 40 and change, and LeBron is 41 and change, and he's pretty cool.
Pretty cool to be able to still play at this level and be able to sprint the floor, run the floor, and hang with teenagers, 20-year-olds, early 30s. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the ages.
That's right. Fred, you're very much into the eligibility of we've talked about this for college athletes and have you been following
this affects the draft.
Have you been following the saga of the Ole Miss quarterback?
Yes, I have, and you can Trinidad and Chambliss. You can tell when you get to the story, you'll see what sticks out there in terms of who made this decision, but you may proceed.
So he's been granted an extra year of eligibility. By the NCAA?
Nope.
No.
Oh.
The NCAA said
fighting
no
against it.
3 times. The NCAA said no.
Yeah, so this is not the NCAA, as a matter of fact.
By a state court judge.
Yeah.
The state of what? The state of Mississippi.
It's got to be Louisiana or Georgia or somewhere.
So imagine that they granted the judge in Mississippi granted the Ole Miss quarterback an extra year of eligibility. Now the NCAA can appeal this, and if they did, I wonder if they can somehow get it out of Mississippi.
That's the only way it's going to happen. That's the only way they win is if they get it to another state somehow.
Yeah, when I knew they were in a Mississippi court, I'm like, all right, well, I mean, what are the chances this guy didn't go to Ole Miss? What are the chances this guy doesn't want him doing this?
The NCAA, for a change, did the right thing. This kid wants a 6th year for no reason. And the NCAA, he played out the process. The NCAA rejected his request 3 different times. So the kid, who is the only kid I can remember trying to get out of turning pro, I've never seen a guy actively try and avoid being a pro as much as this kid. So he went to court, and the Mississippi judge gave the Mississippi starting quarterback what he wanted.
Well, now, I know he'll get a lot of NIL money, but what I'm interested in is that he's not young, obviously. This is his 6th year of eligibility if he gets it. And this is such a weak quarterback class. There was a good chance he was going to be the 3rd quarterback, or even in some mocks, the 2nd quarterback taken. Now he's small, and he's not getting any younger. And by theory, this is not always what happens, as is evidenced by this year's quarterback class that was supposed to be way better than last year's. This is 2 quarterback classes in a row that blow. He next year, if everything or even half the things fall as they should, he might not get taken until way later in the draft than he would have anyway. So wouldn't you want that pro contract starting?
Yes.
I mean, he's not a kid.
He's going to be 24 in August.
Like, at least the kid from Oregon is, incredibly talented. He's a big kid, and he hasn't played a lot. So maybe his theory is I'll go back and, and then I'll be ready for the NFL. And maybe he didn't want to play for the Jets, but he goes, I'm going to go back. I mean, he could still get taken by the Jets next year. They have 4 first-round picks or something. But he goes, all right, I'm going to go back, and then I'll have that extra time, and then I'll go in, and I'll immediately be a starter, and that helps my chances of making in the NFL infinitely because I'll play better and I won't have to move around. There is a reason for that. This kid from Ole Miss, I don't know what he's doing. You would figure at his age, he just want to get the hell into pro football. I don't even know if he was. I don't think before this season he was even considered a kid who could possibly play in the NFL.
He wants to make sure he can play. He was dealing with those respiratory flare-ups in his 2nd year when he was at Ferris State University, and that's what caused him to be. And so he wants to make sure he's healthy enough for the NFL.
And let us educate you about what Ferris State is. Ferris State is essentially a halfway house. What do you mean, Fred? A quarter of their student population, I think, is currently in prison. And I'm not making that up. That is allowed to leave prison. Like one of these things where you're allowed, the guys that are allowed to leave to work.
Work release, yes.
Like that they're allowed to go to Ferris State and then go back to jail. I know 2 kids that went to Ferris State. One of them's a truck driver now. I mean, neither of these kids graduated. And I don't even know what the other kid's doing.
So, Chambliss, who wasn't the starting quarterback.
Struggled in high school.
He wasn't starting quarterback at the beginning of last season. So he picked, week 2 or 3? Lane Kiffin put him in there.
Right.
And is the kid from Michigan? Is that why he went to Ferris State?
If he went to Ferris State, I don't think it has anything to do with being from Michigan. I don't think people from Michigan go like, I'm going to go to Ferris State. I think it's Ferris State.
Grand Rapids. It's from Grand Rapids.
Fair enough. All right, so we'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots took care of some needed business yesterday. They have defined the role of Terrell Williams. The defensive coordinator is cancer-free. He will now have what's being called a high-ranking role on the coaching staff instead of his current position. That would leave defensive assistant Zach Core, the man who essentially was the defensive coordinator this past season, as the top contender to get the permanent job. Wide receiver Stephon Diggs will be in court this morning in Dedham to face a charge of felony strangulation. He was allegedly involved in an incident with his personal chef in December. The U.S. men's hockey team began their Olympic run with a 5-1 win over Latvia yesterday. Brock Nelson, 2 goals. U.S. also had a pair of goals overturned on replay. The next game is tomorrow against Denmark. Right now, Finland leads Sweden 2-0. Italy and Slovakia are scoreless. Both games about to start the second period. The U.S. women play the host country of Italy in the quarterfinals this afternoon. And the Red Sox will go through another day of workouts for pitchers and catchers in Fort Myers. Sonny Gray, new to the team, he says he hasn't been part of a better group of starting pitching.
They're great guys too. We're all kind of lumped there together. I mean, I've enjoyed getting to know them as well. So yeah, on paper, it's probably as good as I've been a part of for sure.
The position players report tomorrow. The first full squad workout is Sunday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99. Today through Sunday, treat your sweetheart at garlic shrimp top salmon or slow roasted prime rib. All you need is love and the 99. You gotta love the 9s. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Tackler in deep 3, violent two-hand slam. Wow.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
And we're back. Toucher and Hardy on.
Did get phone calls asking if I was okay yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I guess in retrospect, it maybe looked like you were currently in the hospital.
Yeah.
But Nick put this up, and I didn't read a lot of the comments, but I did see one that was said, Fred, you can't do this. This is, going to be terrible for Nick. And I said, I didn't post this. I didn't post this. What do I got a picture of Nick from the hospital? I didn't tell Nick to put a picture of the hospital.
What about HIPAA?
Yeah, what about HIPAA? I guess if Nick handed me this information, this was Nick's idea. Well, Nick.
Yes.
This was back in 2018.
Yes.
May of 2018. For so long, we've heard the story. It is Friday the 13th, after all, and, spooky things happen on Friday the 13th.
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
So this is Nick's spooky adventure. It'd be a John Carpenter film if they were to do it. Scene. May 20th.
A summer camp.
2018. Young Nicholas. I'm going to cut to the end and then we can backtrack to the medical report. Okay, maybe that's enough of that. Nick,
only 38 more seconds.
Nick is his girlfriend, now his wife and mother of his children, with one in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
This is before Nick was estranged from his father. Nick is his girlfriend is saying, you know what? That son of a bitch, he was at a bachelor party and now he ain't getting back to me. I'm texting him and he ain't getting back to me. He's out, obviously, caterwauling around. He's out there, taking on anything, all comers, all female ladies. I mean,
Tomcat.
Yeah, Tomcat. That's what I meant. Yeah, he's Tomcat. Nick is out there finally, using that charisma to lay down with the ladies. And she finally says, I've had enough of this. And she goes over to Nick's house where Nick has given her a key, which might have tipped her off that maybe he wasn't cheating on her, that he'd given her a key. But nonetheless.
4 months into the relationship. Very early.
Well, listen, Nick, I don't blame you. You got to hang on. You were presented with an opportunity and you don't want it to get slipped through your fingers. So 4 months in, you give her a key. And she walks in ready to raise hell.
Mm-hmm.
She looks around the house. She looks in the kitchen. He's not there. She looks in the living room. He's not there. She sees the bedroom door. She goes, oh, I'm going to catch him in the act. He's probably in there with two ladies. No, and Nicky threesomes. Or maybe a devil's three-way. Him and one of his bachelor party pals.
Eiffel Tower.
Indeed. A devil's threesome. She doesn't know what she's walking into, but she knows it's going to be hot.
And it's going to...
And it's going to be lascivious.
Whoa, Dad.
But much to her shock, she opens the door, and what does she find?
Ding, 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 ding.
Young Nicholas, catatonic in bed, covered in his own poo and pee. Nick is covered in poo and pee.
I'm about to die at any moment. I'm brittle.
So she goes and she looks. Is there a woman there? Perhaps this is some weird scene. No. Nick is by himself. She goes, Nicholas! Nicholas! No response. Just poo. The smell. The smell is overwhelming.
It's overpowering the entire studio apartment.
She goes, oof! Nick!
It's like a septic tank.
And she takes the key and she throws it in the corner and runs out of the house. No. So she goes, oh, no. We got to do something. So she calls an ambulance, correct, Nick?
No. She drove me to urgent care.
Oh.
Does she still have the same car? Did you at least pay to get it detailed?
No. I'm driving that car now.
Nice.
Yeah.
The poo car?
Poo car?
Well, it is if she took you.
You were filthy.
I don't really remember, but she drove me to urgent care.
Did she
yes.
put new clothes on you?
She must have, yeah.
Okay. So she changed you.
Yes.
Did she wipe you and everything else?
Oh, my God. I don't know.
Because you were filthy with poop.
I should be saying it should be. No.
So she did. So you think that she changed you?
Yeah.
He's not sure.
I'm not sure.
He's thinking about this. He's
out
not
of my
sure.
mind.
No, I get it. No, you were really sick. No, there's no doubt that you were sick. No one's challenging that.
No,
Nicholas.
no.
No one's. I believe you. Believe me. This thing weighs about 10 pounds. This medical thing.
Look at this.
Oh, that's 10 pages of 665 pages.
Yeah, you know you're sick if there's 665 pages.
Yeah.
Now look, a lot of this is gobbledygook to me, and Nick was like, "Do you want me to go through?" I'm like, "Let's not. We don't need to get into the weeds here. Like, I don't need to know." But we've talked about Nick and his girlfriend at the time, now wife, mother of his children, finding him covered in his own
Excrement?
No, I was going to say excretory functions or whatever.
Okay.
But she found him in his own poo.
He's gross.
And pee.
Holy crap, he's gross.
Thank you, Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray was there. And so she took you to urgent care. Well done. What did they go, leave?
Took you to the CVS.
Yeah.
She's like, maybe he needs a flu shot.
We've discussed that. Looking back, it was probably not the best place.
Yeah,
From there, took an ambulance.
Yes, I would imagine that they said.
They're like, you should probably,
we're more for the flu or like a sprained ankle. This isn't so much for people who could die.
Yeah.
This it is fascinating reading though, because I've never gone through like a medical history and a chart for somebody who's been through such an ordeal. And it starts with the history, Fred, the third paragraph, where it is very carefully worded.
The 1 week prior?
Yes.
Okay. Well, first of all, Nicholas J. Gemelli is a 31-year-old male with no significant, basically, medical history, found to have this bacterial infection of an unknown source, complicated by staph. Now, staph is very serious, obviously. It says he was covered in his own excrement.
Yeah, there's a typo in the second line. It says acute renal failure. Shouldn't that be acute anal failure?
No, rectal failure.
Because of the poo?
Rectal failure.
Okay, yeah.
You're reading it wrong. There's no error. It says acute rectal failure. I'm going to skip over a lot of this. Mr. Gemelli was in his usual state of health until Wednesday, May 16th. His usual state of health, he can go on toilet. Usually. That's where the poo goes. And the pee.
It's very spooky.
When he began complaining of a headache, fatigue, and nausea and diarrhea, he told his girlfriend that he may have the flu. On Saturday, May 19th, so this is 2 days before.
Right.
Mr. Gemelli stopped responding to his girlfriend's text messages, and she found him in his home unresponsive. Now, this is where he's lucky he didn't die.
The next day. So they didn't include it. It was a Sunday that she came over.
Okay, yeah. So this was the next day. That's hence the poo and pee. His body couldn't hold it in any longer because it had been so long he'd been in that bed. This is where it gets a little embarrassing. He was surrounded. This is what he was surrounded by. Cold medications, including Tylenol, Dayquil, NyQuil, and Benadryl. By her account, he had used a rough estimate of 19 Tylenol tablets over a 1 week period, Nick.
Ding, 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 ding.
The overdose.
That's almost 3 Tylenols a day.
The overdose.
That's a cry for help is what that is. Yeah.
1 week prior to the development of these symptoms, Mr. Gemelli went to a bachelor party in Dallas. We knew that. Where he used ETOH. What's ETOH?
It must be alcohol.
Okay, I can look that up really quickly. ETOH. Color is volatile, flammable, wick, and widely used as a disinfectant.
Oh.
No, it's what alcohol is is turned into in your body. And marijuana, which we knew, but was well upon return able to work Monday and Tuesday.
I did.
Now, we did know he was farting a lot, so maybe we could have seen that some poo was to come.
Did you see what he denied?
He denied use of heroin or cocaine on this trip. Nicholas!
Now, it doesn't say he didn't use it. He denied use.
And then much to Nick's, he had no sexual activity on the trip. He had no other recent travel or no sick contacts. And then it gets really in the weeds.
Oh, we're talking lactic acid. We're talking blood cultures. We're talking all kinds of acronyms and letters. And
this is kind of why I question, like, when people like Joe Rogan go through medical reports and medical studies and, like, believe that they've ascertained the correct information out of them. Because this is all basically in Latin to me after this point.
Yeah.
They did take specimens, though, which they said they were able to just take the thing that they take your like a cardboard popsicle stick, and they were able just to get the specimens from his skin.
We need a fecal sample. We'll just smear it on his chest.
Yeah.
It's all over him.
Yeah. That's how they got the fecal sample.
He's got some on his cheek. He doesn't even have to unbutton his shirt.
No, they kept his clothes on. They said that. It says that a lot.
He got poo on his nose.
Where are these parts?
Said he was complaining of smelling.
It's at page 4.
It's in the medical report. It's right there.
He said it
Poop on your face.
Okay, I can read this. It says upon arrival at the MICU, Mr. Gemelli said he was denied any pain, but was smelling odd smells. It says based on further examination, it was found that he had fecal matter up his nostrils.
We got a Honeypot Hill situation.
This would be much worse than that.
You were intermittently responsive to questions, and you denied any pain. Well, first of all, why'd you deny pain?
I don't know. Because I was out of my mind.
All right.
I don't really remember any of this. It says I responded to like questions and whatnot, but I don't remember anything.
And they also spent a lot of time on your shoulder. Did you fall?
Yeah, so what happened was,
did you slip in your own mask?
I was working on.
It's a skating rink out there.
I was working on something at my place, and I slipped and fell. And
a puzzle? A Legos?
I slipped.
Hungry
Play-Doh?
hippos?
Were you playing with Hot Wheels?
You know how some guys will play chess against themselves? He does that with hungry hippos. He does them too. He turns the board around and then tries the other hippo.
You see him, he's got his chin in his hand, and he's sitting there with his, and he's thinking, and he goes, pum, 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 and then he goes to the other side and leans back, investigates the board.
Table by the window.
It does say this. It says, we went back to the scene where Nicholas Gemelli was found, and we found a heavily sullied and dirty Chutes and Ladders game covered with
I'm about to die at any moment.
patient's excrement and urine. You had visual hallucination.
I did. So when the nurse was talking to me, I told her that I thought there was a Boston Calling, because it was around the time of Boston Calling in 2018. There was a Boston Calling like poster behind her, and then there was like a CNN like ticker at the bottom. So that was the type of stuff I was seeing.
It also said that you had auditory hallucinations you had sensory hallucinations that you didn't smell.
Where's that?
It says patient denied smelling the strong stench of fecal matter.
I see. Okay.
Denied the horrific odor of poo in the room, which led us to believe he was suffering from
pooingitis.
Olfactory.
And then it goes into like all this gobbledygook, but it says nurses responded. I got to turn the page. That patient was gross.
Yeah.
Is any of that true, Nick?
Ding, 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 ding.
If it's on the report, it must be true.
Well, Nicholas, I'll give this back to you. Thank you for sharing this.
Oh, you're
with
very
us.
welcome.
One final area to clear up here in the post-surgical report. It said the annular sutures were then taken through the housing of the aortic valve. Isn't that shouldn't that be anal sutures? Didn't they have to stitch your butt up?
Well, they did. It said
that was the only way they could stop the poo from leaking.
It has the charges in here, and
annular.
Insurance did pick this up, Nick, but they did have to go through 15 bedpans that day. So
one day?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot of bedpans.
That's a lot.
All right. Thank you, Nicholas. I'll tell you what. Anyone who tells you that they can ascertain if they don't have a medical degree, that they can figure out what the hell's going on in those medical reports is lying. It's all gobbledygook. It doesn't make any sense to me, and it wouldn't have been much interest, but
No.
suffice it to say, Nick was covered in his own mess.
Holy crap, he's gross.
That's right, Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
All right, when we return, Cedric Maxwell will be joining us.
Ding, 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 ding.
It's very spooky. Touch her.
Cedric Maxwell is the color analyst for the Celtics on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Celtics Radio Network. Hello, Cedric.
Yes. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
We are well. Thank you for joining us. You excited for the All-Star break?
Absolutely. I mean, nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. That's where I'm at.
Oh, you went home?
Yeah. Went to Charlotte here and just kind of hanging out with family. And it's going to cost me some money being around family, but okay, I get it.
They ask for a handout, is what you're saying when you're around them.
Leeches.
That's right. Your family is leeching off you, but yet you still go.
Love them to death, but leeches. My youngest son went to, before I take him to the Cheesecake Factory when he was young, and he expressed to me, oh, man, it's delicious. He went by himself one time and then came back and told me, Dad, that Cheesecake Factory, that's really expensive. Oh, okay, I get it. Because you had to pay for your own food, I understand. So, yeah, leeching.
That's right. They are leeches oftentimes, but that's good that you get to be down there. How surprised are you by where the Celtics sit going into the All-Star break in terms of their position in the East?
I think everybody's shocked. I think that isn't it really funny that the Patriots, everybody was shocked to see that they made it to the Super Bowl, and everybody's shocked to see the Celtics. And considering where the Patriots were, where the Celtics were, and losing so many players, For them to be where they are and playing as well, I think is amazing. But now here's a caveat. These 8 games which are coming up are going to be really critical so far as how they're going to be viewed in the standings. Start out with Golden State, go to the Lakers, Phoenix, Denver, and then I think they come back and they have Milwaukee. So a tough road that they're going to have to hold over the next 8 games.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the Patriots analogy because no one expected them to get to where they got. But I was surprised by this morning, Max. I heard Tony Kornheiser saying that the Celtics are the most surprising team in the NBA this year. And I don't know if it does a disservice to Jaylen Brown, but let's face it, when you take away arguably your best and inarguably one of your 2 best players in the team, I don't think anybody was expecting them to be second in the East. So, yeah, it shouldn't go without saying how well they've been able to play, how well they've been able to gel, and the ascension of some of these guys who I just looked at as fringe guys I wouldn't even have to be able to recognize because they weren't going to be around and they weren't going to contribute. And that's, in addition to Jaylen, it's the contributions of, guys like Jordan Walsh and Garza and the guys who I didn't think were going to do much. They've done a lot.
Guys that you didn't even know about. I think, Walsh was somebody I was on the radar because I'd seen him play and I talked to him, but I didn't know nothing about Hugo. I didn't know anything about him as a player. And really to talk to Brad Stevens, he had talked to me before the Simons trade, and he was just glowing about how Simons was. After the trade, I saw him, and we kind of looked at each other. He smiled, and he said, yep, one of the most ugly things I have to do in my job, trading guys away like that. And that probably included Marcus Smart. But you're trying to do what you feel is best for the team. And to go out and get Vooch and get a big body to go in there and battle with people like the Knicks. And they played horrible against the Knicks. But to battle those teams, I think you're going to need that big presence on the inside.
I'm wondering, let's get back to the Knicks. Super Bowl Sunday wasn't pretty in the second half. It just seems like, for whatever reason, the Knicks give the Celtics a lot of trouble regardless of who's out there, whether Tatum's out there or whether it's Jaylen Brown being the alpha. Why do you think that is?
I think sometimes just matchups. You could see teams that don't play really well against other guys and then turn around and play well. You look at what happened. Indiana came in and beat the Knicks following what happened with the Celtics. Indiana is one of the lowly teams in the league, and they played them particularly well. There are matchup problems I think the Celtics have to address. One is going to be trying to contain Brunson, but rebounding the basketball, Karl Anthony Towns. But I think they've done that. I think it was that particular night. And I think, everybody wants to turn the page now because I think everybody's just anticipating so much that Tatum is coming back. And, again, I just think it's going to be within the next – he's going to have to do it before the 20-game mark. I know somebody said there was a drop-dead point for Brad. What would that be? He said he really didn't know, but I just feel, and this is me talking, that he has to come back 20 games into the season left.
How much of a checkpoint is him playing 5-on-5 practice? I mean, does that mean he's a week away or 2 weeks away, or does that mean it's just another step and we're still at an undetermined date?
John, you're the king of the obvious. I love that. Yeah, that means it's just another stepping stone that they have to get through, check mark that they have to play, live competition, better competition. Guys, isn't it funny to have a guy like Tatum go to the G League and practice, which must be a thrill, but at the same time for him, it's a challenge because I remember my first competition after I came off an injury. You're testing yourself, you're seeing where you're at. And I'm sure Jason Tatum was probably is afraid to take that first step against competition. But once it happens, I think that's the easier part of moving on. The sooner he fails in a real game, the better off he's going to be because he's going to understand that there are going to be points. There's going to be some high points. There's going to be some low points, but he'll eventually get over it.
Yeah, Wednesday, March 4th against Charlotte. That is what 21 games left in the season.
Day after his birthday.
And then you get the night off, and then you get Dallas at home on Friday night. That's a good spot.
I think it would be a great spot. I'm just waiting for the ovation. And that's what I can't wait for that. As a former player, to see the ovation that he's going to get, the love he's going to get when Eddie announces him on the PA that's going to be really cool for me, just to see how people are going to get cranked up. And his first shot, first rebound, people are going to be like in awe. And, but he's going to probably play no more than about 10 or 12 minutes, probably his first game, and then build up from there.
Well, Chris Forsberg's been talking about it, like Tatum's been fantasizing about this and like coming up with dates in his head about when the response would be the greatest. Do you, I guess he's going by things Tatum said. Do you, as a player, start trying to pick your spots of when you're going to come back, around when, would you want to do it at home to get those ovations and things like that?
I would love to, but for me, personally, I think I would rather have it on the road to get some of those jitters out the way and just play, a game on the road first instead of having that first one at home because of all the angst and all the energy that's going to be shot towards you. And it's going to be, it is going to be like Cedric Maxwell when he does one of his favorite things when he broadcasts, he has a Pepsi and Dippin' Dots. It's just like your mind just goes, woo, 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 woo. So those are the real cool moments where you just get so hyped up.
Yeah. How many arenas supply Dippin' Dots, or do you have to send someone from the broadcast up to get them from?
No. Normally, there are Dippin' Dot stations around almost every arena. And, there's a Pepsi someplace in reach. So, for me, it's like, I'd say at least 20, 25 arenas have it.
So will you go up to the concourse during a break and get Dippin' Dots?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's good. Now, do people?
I mean, one of the things you'd have loved was it had to be about 10 years ago, and they had those machines that had the ices, but they had alcohol in it.
Yeah.
And I got one, during the game, and Sean Grandy just looked at me. He said, I'm saying his name right now for you. Sean Grandy. Sean Grandy
he
said
telling
to me,
you?
He said, yeah, no. He said to me on there, he said to me, that has alcohol in it, don't you? And I looked at him. I said, hey, I showed ID. He just probably he just shook his head. But for me, that was just a one-outer. But
I'm not surprised he told on you. I'm not surprised.
Right.
That seems to be his personality. Cedric, I wouldn't have told on you. Let's just put it that way.
It was okay. Yeah, alcohol, little drink. It's one of the few times I think I've ever done that because I don't drink beer. I really don't drink hard alcohol. But that was it was funny that particular night.
You couldn't resist it. I understand. I don't blame you. Now, did you see that Pistons fight against Charlotte?
I did.
Okay, because Jaylen Brown had said when he asked about that, or I don't know if he brought it up himself, he said that
he was live streaming during the game and was asked.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
So the Celtics, he said the Celtics could use some of that. What did you think of that fight, and do you agree with him?
Joe Mazzulla would love it. He would love just going back and forth. And I've said that before. I think the Celtics are better off when, things like that happen. They get cranked up. They get, you can see Joe Mazzulla. I said that, maybe the last 3 or 4 years. I said this team will not be the team they need to be until their best players are mean and nasty. And what you start to see the snarling Jaylen Brown. You start to see a little bit of it from Tatum. But thinking about what happened in the fight, it wasn't that much. One of the things that happened to me was a surprising thing. Was there's a assistant coach who's designated to not let the players off the bench when a fight happens out. His job is to immediately turn, like, the FBI, and protect. But Beast Dude just must flute through everybody to get on the floor.
There's no stopping him. No, he was coming right out.
And I loved it. I mean, I loved it. I loved it, the action that's in there. And in the terms of a hockey fight, what would that have been? I've been just like a brush up. There wouldn't have been nothing.
Well,
It kept going.
It's funny because
That's
I made that
crazy.
point.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny that on the same floors, in the same arenas, they let two guys fight? Now, I know they're on skates, but I mean...
What the hell with that? They're still swinging blows. So that to me is crazy.
Well, the thing is that I mean, you wouldn't know that there's 700 people that are on the bench that can go in and separate people. I mean, they can't get in there fast enough. And I'll tell you what, you want to tell Charlotte with some wild swings there, nowhere close to hitting the target.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, real haymakers.
But Max, you mentioned the guy whose job it is to keep the guys from fighting. That's what surprised me. The number of assistants and guys that were out there on the court, they quickly outnumbered the players. I'm like, holy crap, they got a lot of guys working for these teams. And at a moment's notice, they can be on the court.
Well, really, it's the security. Celtics have about 4 or 5 guys who work their security. Every team has 4 or 5 guys. You can see when there's a timeout, when there's something goes on. All these guys come from the sidelines, to kind of break things up. So they were out there, and why the assistant coaches went out there, I have no idea. But they're designated to turn and keep those guys on the bench, and somebody missed an assignment. And then the thing about it was to me, if you're beef stew, though, and somebody, pokes your teammate, from behind, that to me is almost like, okay, I have the right to go out there and protect my teammate.
Right. Now, did you ever get so angry at someone you wanted to kick their ass off the court, like you wanted to find them?
Yeah. Several guys, and still right now, I'm looking for a couple of guys that I'm thinking about. When I see them, I'm like, I should kick that guy's ass right now. I think you do. It's a takeover. Every good player, every player in the NBA has somebody he did not like, and for me, it was a lot of guys I didn't like. But then some of the guys I didn't really like Rick Mahorn, turned out to be a really good friend now. I couldn't stand that dude when I was playing because he was always trying to do cheap shots and dirty things. But then as I got to know him later on, he was a very intelligent guy. He was friendly. He spoke well, but I couldn't have thought that. I could have thought less of him. If I had a car and he was in the middle of the road, I'd run over him.
Well, good luck to that car. I mean, especially now he's
Rick's gained a little weight since he retired.
Yeah, they might do some. But Rick Mahorn's pretty funny. He's a good actor. He's done some acting stuff where he's actually pretty funny. So it's surprising. He was on that show Detroiters. He was very funny on that. A whole episode surrounding him. All right, Cedric Maxwell, enjoy Charlotte. I appreciate you coming on early today because Bert Breer is a huge pain in the ass and moved things around. But, Cedric, we do appreciate it. You're one of our favorite guests. Enjoy the All-Star break. Looking forward to talking to you soon.
It is always a pleasure to come on with you and the guys, and especially the man in the middle, Johnny Baseball.
That's right. Johnny Baseball.
Cedric.
Would you like to say anything to his beautiful wife?
I'm trying to stay away from that because you kind of, lifted the veil. So, I'm being quiet. I'm not saying to him.
Well, I bet you wish when he lifted the veil, it was you standing there.
Wow. Never covet another man's wife. Never do that. Okay?
That's true. That's good advice. All right, Cedric, thank you.
See you, Max.
All right, gentlemen, have a good one.
All right, there you go. We will be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Leeches.
East.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Yesterday, I walked my dog in this woods. I'm a woodsman. I listened to Joe Perry's book, and then I had read Stephen Towers' book, and the Stephen Towers book I'm listening to now because I heard Joe Perry's side of the story, and I don't remember Stephen Towers' book, but this is just
It was almost as if she gave her heart away 1,000 times and never did quite get it back. Janice up there, Janice.
The way that it's read is so annoying, and it's not him. Because he writes
So that's a voice actor pretending to be Joe Perry?
Pretending to be Steven Tyler.
Oh,
Joe Perry read his book. Joe Perry's book's written like a book. Everything in the Stephen Tower book is double entendre, and a lot of it's not true. It starts off when he was a baby, he was up in New Hampshire, and a bear took him out of the house by the diaper and dropped him in a hole.
Okay.
And his parents were looking for a hole, but that hole was to the other side. It's a lot of that. And he rhymes a lot in it. He's and everything's a double entendre. I wish I could think of one, but everything's a sexual double entendre, or the first chapter is called, peripheral visions or something like that. It's just all weird. And it's funny when you get a book and it's not read by the author. It's a little tough. It's a little tough.
Yeah, that would bug the crap out of me, somebody pretending to be someone else and reading it in their voice.
Yeah, so I'm out there in this, and it's hilly, Hardy. This place is hilly. And I didn't wear my boots. In the woods. And I wasn't wearing my boots. I was wearing these waterproof shoes I have on now, but they're not heavy. And this thing...
They're like trail runners or something?
I don't know how you describe these.
Oh, yeah, low-top hikers.
Low-top hikers.
Good set of shoes you got there. I like those.
Yeah, but not appropriate for the icy conditions.
No, you need to have your yak tracks on.
No, there are people out there with yak tracks, and it's...
That's right, smart people.
It's pretty sad.
No, smart.
But I'll tell you this, is that, if I slip, the dog... if I slip a little bit, the dog will stop. He does know that. Well, because he feels like a give in the leash, and he'll go but he's pulling the whole time. And, it's perilous out there. And I had to make a decision once I got into the woods. I said, it's icy. Mm-hmm. I know that woods like the back of my hand. I've hunted there for years. This isn't Newton. When I was younger, I was dropped down into there and forced to live. I know every berry tree. I know every way to I could sustain myself in there for a year if I had to.
Sure.
You two would be dead in a second. But me, I know how to fashion spears out of and sharpen them. Mm-hmm. I know where all the good stones are. I've hidden some things around there. And but I had to make a decision once I got into the woods. I said, this is very icy, and I know hills are coming. I said, do I retreat like a coward, or do I continue on? Let's just say, fellas, I made it.
Well, because, as your motto is, Fred, as a woodman clears the way. And if not you, then who?
Plus, I have my phone on me if I see anyone disrespecting any of the pieces of the forest, because this is God's creation. Don't get in.
You should carry a citation book.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
No, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, and in a list of citizens' arrests are not beyond me. If I see two teen punks smoking weed, yeah, I'll just take it. I'll break it in half, and I'll go. We're going in. And they'll go, where are we going? I'm like, don't you worry. But it's icy. I gotcha. But I now though.
I know this about you, and I don't want to blow up your spot. Sometimes going in means he's just taking him for a malted, and he's just having a chin wag with him.
Yeah.
Because sometimes what these kids need is just to have someone listen.
You need a little fatherly advice as well. But I'll tell you this, is now that I'm done, the top of my hips, very stiff. very stiff.
Those the hip flexors? So that what those
whatever
are?
happens when you are sliding and you have to walk cautiously. Adam's nodding his head in agreement. Anytime you have to walk cautiously for like a mile, it makes the hip flexors very stiff.
Yeah. The downhill icy conditions for the dog walks. Not one of my least favorite things about the winter. Still having to walk the dog. The uphill doesn't bother me. You know, because you figure
the uphill's the worst because sometimes you can't get up. So the only way to get up is to go in the snow.
Yeah, but you can sidestep. To me, going downhill is much more perilous.
No, there's a hill one time this year. I told you I had to go up on all fours. I walked by and there was a lady like sitting down, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Do you need help?" And she's like, "No."
You should have written her a citation for loitering on the trail.
She's like, "I have to scoot down this. It's too icy. I have to scoot down." And I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "Woman." I'm like, "You sure you don't need any help?" And she's like, "No, don't touch me." And I went, "Okay." No, she didn't say that. But she was like, "No, I don't need any help." So I was like, I tried to get up myself. And this wasn't yesterday, but I tried to get up and it was like, oh no, like I can't do this either. And I had to, with the dog, then get on all fours and grab stuff and yank myself up this hill.
Have you considered a hiking stick?
I do like when the elderly people have them. It does give a certain panache, and it wouldn't make me feel terrible about myself at all. No. I have seen them. I've not considered
because, some of them have stoppers on the bottom of it with a little spike, and you can use them not only to pick up trash, but you can really dig in with that thing.
I got a set of those in the trunk right now if you want to take a look after the show.
It's multiple.
Test them out a little bit.
Yeah. Adam does pick up trash. That's not a joke. He goes to parks and he picks up trash.
No.
It's going to be tough this spring with all the snow we're getting this winter.
But I don't like that you call the women that. Hello. He goes, you want to go on a hayride?
That's his big line.
That's his big line. You want to go on a hayride? All right. Bert Breer is scheduled to join us. He will join us in just one moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
Situation this week, the team will move defensive coordinator Terrell Williams to what's been reported as a higher-ranking role on the staff. And that now technically leaves his old job open. Linebackers coach Zach Core, the guy who called defensive plays all season, is seen as a top candidate to officially get that role. Stephon Diggs is going to be in court this morning to be arraigned on a charge of felony strangulation. This is in connection with an alleged incident with his personal chef in early December. Turning to the Winter Olympics, the U.S. men's hockey team began their run with a 5-1 win over Latvia yesterday. Their next game is tomorrow against Denmark. Right now, Finland leads Sweden 3-1. Slovakia leads Italy 2-1. Both games are in the early stages of the third period. The U.S. women will play the host country of Italy this afternoon in the quarterfinals. And the Red Sox will go through another day of workouts for pitchers and catchers today in Fort Myers. The position players report tomorrow. The first full squad workout is Sunday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by 128 Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric, the company that finishes every job strong. If your home or business has a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, or drain issue that can't wait, you need to call 128 now at 888-CALL-128. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
You actually coaching the game? Or it's just that is. I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
Sports. Why do people listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
98.5 The Sports Hub. We're Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Bert Breer, senior NFL reporter and lead content strategist for the MMQB. He was over in San Francisco. He's been to the Senior Bowl. He's done all these things. He's a very busy man. He had to switch things all around. Bert, hello.
Well, me not being in studio today doesn't have to do with any of that. It's more, I would say, just stuff at home and having to pay everybody back for being away for a while. So thanks for accommodating. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, you can be on Zoom. It doesn't matter to us.
But it sounds like there's scorekeeping going on in the household. Bert, do you think that's healthy?
It's possible. It's possible there might be some scorekeeping.
Oh,
going
that's
on.
so bad for your marriage.
Do you think it's healthy?
I mean, I don't know. I sort of feel like I'm in debt to do things for other people if I've missed some things. So maybe that's just my own personal thing. I don't know.
Okay.
But
no,
I'm home now, and I got the kids off to school. So yeah, happy to be here.
Sometimes women have the ability to recall everything you've done wrong for a 4-month or 6-month period
It's
at
amazing.
a moment's notice.
The ability to retain their ability to retain that information is pretty amazing.
And hold a grudge for that long without expressing it. And then what I found is I was like, okay, if you're going to do that, I'm going to start writing down things. And it didn't go over well the first argument where I went and got my notes. that did happen because I'm like, I don't remember anything. I'm like, I know you do stuff, but like I don't remember it off the top of my head. You got this photographic memory for everything I've done remotely wrong.
Yeah, if we're going to be on equal footing, I need to bring some homework to the thing.
You took notes, and I'm like, yeah, I think that's better. I don't remember everything. I don't carry around all this weight of. That's pretty much every relationship I've ever been in. There seems to be this hair trigger of everything. Like, and I'm not talking about like you cheated on me or like you did something terrible. These are like minor infractions, like you
dishes
peed
left
on
in the
seat,
sink.
like you peed on the seat, like this whole, like you were rude to so and so, and it's like, wow.
The one I get that's pretty common is I'll leave like a pair of sneakers out, and then I'll get the comment that you're not in a hotel anymore.
Oh yeah, and that's showing you that she's aggravated that you've been gone.
Yes,
because she has to do everything with the kids, and she resents you for that. Oh, you're so resented, Bert. It must be.
I'm very passive aggressive.
I know. Well, let's put it that. Wait, a woman being passive aggressive. Very difficult to believe. I don't believe that at all. All right. Well, I can be passive aggressive as well, but I do more like being kind.
Yeah,
and empathetic. All right.
But you're very charming.
Thanks. That's why I have so many friends. All right, Bert. Listen, what is the league saying? I mean, this is kind of a broad question, but we've known each other long enough. I think you understand where I'm coming from about the sustainability of this Patriots team. Like, they made the Super Bowl. Do they look at the Patriots' future differently than they look at Seattle? How are people looking at the future of the Patriots?
I mean, I think if you talk to league people about the two teams in the game last week, it was pretty obvious how differently they were seen, and I tried to reflect that. Like, now I didn't pick it the way that it happened, but I think I expressed to you guys I thought that was possible, that the Seahawks could run away with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of reflective of the way that a lot of people felt, which was like when you talk to them about the Patriots, and I think the Patriots came to resent some of this, but what you would hear is smart, sound, well coached, those sorts of things. It was never they're loaded, the way that with the Seahawks it was they're loaded. So, I think all that stuff is good, and it shows that Mike Vrabel's program is in really good shape, way ahead of schedule after year one. But it probably also would illustrate the fact that they're a little ways away still from a roster standpoint. And I mean, I don't need to tell you guys how many things broke right this year, for the Patriots. I mean, the schedule didn't look great going in and was even lighter than we thought it would be. Then you get to the playoffs and, you play these teams. It's like, well, like the Chargers have good talent here and here and here and here, but they've got no offensive tackles. The Texans are a absolutely elite, top of the league defense, but their quarterback had a turnover problem in the first round that wound up carrying over into the second round, and they didn't have their best receiver.
Yeah, but what about the AFC Championship game? They didn't get any luck there.
No, there's no luck there. So anyway, I mean,
right. But by the way, Bert, also injury-wise, I mean, how lucky were they with injuries? And that's right. I mean, listen, that's again not taking anything away from them, but they were extraordinarily lucky with injuries.
Yeah, and I think there's a sobering reality to all this too, which is that I think coming into the year, and I've said this to you guys over and over again, but coming into the year, I felt like in the AFC, one of the reasons I felt like they were a ways off, they were a couple of off seasons off from being at this level, was, well, you're going to have to go through some combination of Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes to get through the playoffs, right? How many of those guys do they have to play in the playoffs?
0.
And when is that ever going to happen again?
Not, in May's career, but not in the early stages of May's career.
Probably not for a while.
Not for the foreseeable future, yes.
Yeah, I mean, so the reality of this year, I think, is going to be very different from the reality going forward. You also have the fact that teams are going to be gunning for you now. You're not going to be overlooked by anybody going forward. So, they accomplished great things this year. There's no question about it. I'm not taking any of that away from them. But, I do think, if you look at where they are, versus what they accomplished, I think those can be looked at as two different things. What they accomplished is great. They won the AFC. It's an amazing accomplishment. They're one of the two teams left standing at the end. But does that really change your vision of what they are? I think that's the question. And I do think, Mike Vrabel, Elliott Wolf, Ryan Cowden, John Stryker, it's on them now to look at this and say, okay, what's the reality of our team and where we're at and how far we are away from being where we want to be as a sustained championship contender. And, I think they still have some work to do in that regard. They made great progress this year, of course. But I don't think the roster's in a spot right now where you can just stand pat. And to me, what's so interesting about it is last year at this time, I was telling you the Commanders were the model for what they wanted to do. This year, I think the Commanders are kind of the cautionary tale.
Yeah, that's interesting. So just to piggyback on what you're saying, that leads us into plans for the offseason. Max Crosby, great minds, John. That's great. We're on the same page. Max Crosby, once out at Vegas, let's start with that. Does Max Crosby he wants out. What are you hearing from Vegas? What's that situation going to turn out to be?
It's complicated. So it really started all of this on December 23rd. So like he was initially hurt in mid-October. I think the date was October 17th. They played the Chiefs in mid-October, somewhere in there. Hurt his knee, and it was a situation or an injury he could play through, but wasn't going to get better. And he was going to have to deal with increasing pain over the course of the year, which he did. It got to the point at the end of December where it was, let's get some more scans. So with 2 games left, they get these additional scans done on the knee, and the Raiders make the decision that they're going to shut him down. There was an issue in the communication of that. Alex Guerrero was involved in that. And then, coming out of all of that, Max really felt like when they came back to him and said, we're shutting you down the rest of the year, Max felt like the reason they were shutting him down was because they wanted to tank for the first overall pick. And that really pissed Max off because he was, for a guy who's only been to the playoffs once, like being able to play full seasons and accomplish things statistically and make all pros and all that different stuff, like that's important to him because he hasn't been able to have the playoff success. So his level of personal achievement is important to him. So that created a huge issue. Obviously the coaching staff that was there isn't there anymore, but a lot of the front office people are. And so now they're sort of in a spot where, Clint Kubiak came in earlier this week. He had a cup of coffee with Max. That went well by all accounts, but I don't think that did much to move the needle as far as where, he stands with the team. And the interesting thing about it is Max has been really loyal over the years to the Raiders, loyal to the Davis family. I think he always envisioned himself as like this kind of one franchise guy. Like he only wants to play for one team. And because of all of this, now he's, started to open the door to demanding a trade. And I think once you open that door, it can be kind of hard to go back. So we'll see what happens, but that's the history behind it. I think he probably gets traded. But Clint Kubiak had a good conversation with him earlier in the week, so we'll see where it goes.
If you're the Patriots, with full knowledge of where your roster is, it's probably not all there yet. Do you make a bigger move in expensive draft capital to bring in a guy like Crosby, or do you kind of continue that steady rise to roster depth?
Crosby's a good enough player where I would do it.
What would it take?
Well, so one thing that hampers you a little bit here, and this is the price of success, is that your first round pick's the 31st pick.
But he's old. Like he's 29.
He's going to be 29. He's 28 now, but he's going to be 29.
He's going to be 29. Right.
He's going to be 29 at the beginning of the season. He finished the last 3 years hurt, so that's something you have to consider. This is going to be, I believe, his 8th NFL season coming up here. He was a rookie in 2019. So you have to consider all of that stuff, And this is where I say the Commanders are a little bit of the cautionary tale, right? So the Patriots aren't that young a team. They're young in spots, but they have to get younger at receiver. Like they relied on Diggs and Hollins, who are older guys. They have to get younger at tight end, right? Like with Henry and Hooper being older guys. Hooper's a free agent. They're not incredibly young on the defensive line. You look at all these different areas where, there are going to be needs eventually. And so this is where the Commanders got themselves in trouble, is they ran it back with all these older guys like Zach Ertz and Bobby Wagner and Deron Payne. All these older guys are coming back, and we're going to go for it. We got the quarterback on a rookie contract. They trade for Marshawn Lattimore. They trade for Deebo Samuel. They trade for Laramie Tunsil. And now an older team goes back into the 25 season, and what happens to older teams? Well, they get hurt, and their injury luck swings. And now they go into 26. They're an older team. They've got holes all over the place, and they've only got, I think it's 5 draft picks going into this year. So now, the Commanders where it looked like a year ago they were this rising young team. They'd actually gotten older in certain spots to be competitive in the moment. and they ran it back another year, and it wound up costing them. So that would be, I think, some of the risk that you would be weighing when you're looking at like how you want to approach the offseason. And I think that's part of the equation too with Crosby, because if you do that and you go all in, okay, like now we've got Crosby and Milton Williams and Christian Barmore on the D line. Now are you committing yourself to doing that in other spots on your roster? And now are you talking about creating a 1 or a 2 year window rather than a 5 year window? I think these are all questions that they're going to have to ask themselves.
I heard you say something similar to that earlier in the week, Bert, in that a young team can get old very quickly, and the way the Commanders did. But the other thing with the Commanders is that their front office appeared to be in disarray, which I didn't know about that going back to 2 seasons ago. So hopefully that's not the case for the Patriots, and maybe. Just maybe some of that stuff that led to their, poor showing this season could be avoided just because there seems to be a little better health going on here than what they have in Washington.
For sure. And I think that's something that you always have to stay on, Like, I don't think anybody was saying that stuff about the Commanders a year ago. They were sort of seen as like this model a year ago of how you want to do things. But the reality of it was, in an effort to get competitive fast, which they did. They made it to the NFC title game. I mean, in so many ways, they mirror you, right? Like because they did the thing where they bring in a lot of guys the coaching staff is familiar with, and then they have this run in the playoffs. And I would say, like, even though they didn't make it to a Super Bowl, they had a more impressive playoff win than any of your playoff wins, right? Going into Detroit and winning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah,
that to me was a more impressive playoff win than anything the Patriots did. So in a lot of ways, they mirror you, and also in that they ran into a team that was just too talented, in the Eagles in the NFC title game, the same way you ran into the Seahawks. So, I think it's just an example of how things can swing, and so, it's something that, again, Vrabel and the front office are going to have to kind of sort through. And I think that's, why he said the same thing to me that he said publicly, earlier in the week about, like, you have to find younger, cheaper, better options. That's what the team's always trying to do. I think he says that with intention. He says that just to prepare people for the fact that there are going to be some tough decisions to come. And I would actually take it as a good sign that he said that, because that shows, an understanding for where they're at.
Okay, just a little more quickly, A.J. Brown, if he's available, would that be someone?
I would not have A.J. Brown and Stephon Diggs on the same team. So,
well, I was going to – all right, then let's save this because I want to ask you about Diggs and Barmore. I want to ask you about all that stuff. There's a lot to talk about. Bert he's got all this information. I want to pry. I want to get in there. Bert, we will be back with more Bert Breer. Live from his home, very far away from the city. We will be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The
We talked about Max Crosby. We talked about sustainability. We talked about all these things involving the Patriots. I mentioned A.J. Brown, and then it dovetailed into Stephon Diggs, and I want to get into that more. I don't know the severity of Stephon Diggs, his situation. It is what it is. I can't comment on it. I don't know anything about it. The Patriots seemed more inclined to, or what's the right way to put it, Hardy, in terms of their defense of him compared to Barmore?
Reticent to defend Barmore
than they were to Diggs. Okay, so
I mean, it was in the statement, wasn't it? Like it was
Yes.
like it was something like we fully back Stephon, and it lacked that with the Barmore one. Is that right?
Yes,
It was something like that.
We read it earlier today. That's a fair encapsulation of it. So Diggs is supposed to be arraigned today. He's due $6 million in March, $20 million for next season. He was good, very good, apparently, in the locker room. He was pretty good during the season. He was rather invisible in the playoffs. What do you think the chances are, and what is the read on the team keeping Stephon Diggs?
I think it's going to sort of ride on their options, Fred. I think it's sort of what is out there from a veteran standpoint. I don't think Stephon Diggs' presence is going to affect them drafting receivers. If there's one that they really like at 31, whoever that might be, I don't think that Stephon Diggs' presence on the team would prevent them from doing that. But I think it will affect how they approach the veteran market. And so, you look at his role in the team and kind of what he's going to be going forward. Again, he's one of these guys who's older, so you do have to project him going forward. And here's the reality of it. And look, he was a really good player for the team, a really good story, and being able to play as well as he did coming off the ACL. That said, he's mostly just a slot, which means, you can't play him and say Pop Douglas together. You can't play him and a second tight end together quite as much, which is why, his snap percentages were what they were, right? And then he's not great in the run game. And so, to some degree, when you put him out there, you're basically saying to the other team, we're throwing the ball, or you're doing what you need to do to kind of mask him in the run game. And so, there are some things that you have to work around too. Now, he gave you plenty to justify all of that this year. Is he going to still be able to do that next year? And that's a question you have to ask yourself at that price. And then I think, we talked about A.J. Brown, some of it's going to kind of come down to, all right, if it's not Steph, in that sort of veteran receiver role, who is it? And are we going to have to give up a draft pick to get that player? What is that player going to cost us? All of those sorts of things. I think, for example, Alec Pierce is somebody who, might not be a household name, but he averaged over 20 yards a catch. I believe he was over 1,000 yards this year, in Indianapolis. And he's a really good player who's only 26 years old. So do you look at him and say, I'd rather have him than Stephon Diggs? I think those are the sorts of things you're looking at, right? A.J. Brown's another one, where, if A.J. Brown were to come available, which I think is certainly possible, do you view him as a better option? And remember, you'd have to give up draft picks to get him. So there's a second layer to that one. So again, I don't think Diggs' presence is going to affect what they do in the draft at the position. But I certainly think whether or not Diggs is on the roster, could tie directly to what sort of opportunities out there for them to acquire a veteran at the position.
All right, let's get into Barmore. It's funny, with the Super Bowl run, you forgot these guys were in any kind of legal trouble. At least I did. Barmore, he's messed up before. He's got pretty serious charges on him. What do you think his future is with this team?
I mean, TBD. I don't know enough about the legal case. I would say it's not some of the details aren't great, so I kind of fall back on this a lot, Fred. You guys can take shots at me for it if you want, but I just think in these cases, in these domestic cases where you really like two people know, it's just really difficult to draw conclusions.
I guess my point is, how much of that are the Patriots willing to put up with?
I mean, if they get wind that there's reality to it, I mean, the Crafts have said like zero tolerance. Now, have they lived up to that? I don't know. But like they've said in the past, they'd be zero tolerance with this stuff, So, and I do think like it's genuinely something that Robert Kraft wants to take seriously. So, I think as the details come out, it's how credible are the details? How much do you believe the story the player's given you? Does the player have credibility with you? Those are the sorts of things that you have to look at. So, we'll see what happens. Again, like and the reason I hesitate with this is because on one hand, there's nothing worse that a man can be accused of, right? Like than putting his hands on a woman that way. On the flip side, like I think it's equally as bad to accuse somebody of that when they didn't do it. So I think you have to be fair to all parties in a situation like this. And so it's hard to have an opinion unless you really know what happened. And there are only two people that really know what happened.
And that's absolutely true. I'm saying, he goes to court in March.
Yep.
So it's basically, you do think though, if he is found to be culpable in this, that would be a problem for the Patriots.
I mean, that's what the Crafts have told us over the years, right? So, I mean, we'll see. I've seen teams react. I mean, like, for example, the Ravens, right? Drafted a guy named Mike Green out of Marshall last year, right? Now, when the Ray Rice thing happened, the Ravens said until they were like, hey, from now on, nothing. Like, there's a hint of this, and like we are, and we are not touching a player that has any hint of this, right? And that was, 12 years ago now. Well, last year they drafted a guy in the second round named Mike Green from Marshall who fell because of a situation like this, So I'd say like the Crafts have been resolute on that in the past, but we've also seen where teams have made exceptions. So we'll see what happens.
How much of the Stephon Diggs being the locker room guy do you think could factor into this? I mean, because I've heard a lot of discussion of this, not only during the season, but especially in the postseason, like what a valuable presence he was in the room for the other receivers. Mm-hmm. And especially if they're thinking about, drafting at that position. His output on the field sometimes left a little something to be desired, but I keep hearing about, man, when he did contribute, it was big, and it was even bigger, the impact he had on the other guys.
This has always been who he is, though, Hardy. I mean, the only problem he's ever had within the teams that he's worked with has been, like, I don't get the ball enough. I mean, other than that, like, all of his issues have been outside the building, Like, whether you're talking about the Vikings, the Bills, the Texans, now the Patriots, this is sort of what you signed up for. I think you knew coming in, the people in Houston had a great experience with him, and I think part of the reason why the Patriots had an idea that would work is because Ben McDaniels was his position coach in Houston, who's obviously Josh's brother. In Buffalo, they would tell you there are a lot of people who still love him. Like Brian Daboll loves Stephon Diggs, right? Like from the experience he had with him. Josh Allen maintains a good relationship with Stephon Diggs. The players, the coaches, they all generally love him. Like, could he be a little bit of a pain sometimes about getting the ball? Sure, but like for the most part, like when you had him in the building, he was a good worker. He set a good example. He helped younger players. Like you had all of that with him. So this is sort of, I mean, like your experience with Stephon Diggs, if you're the Patriots, isn't all that different than the experience the other teams had. So does it help? Yeah. Like, I think his production helps, who he was as a teammate helps. If you want to give him the benefit of the doubt, so we'll see where the court case goes. Obviously that was delayed for a reason. And, so we'll see where that goes. And The details of it, like Barmore, weren't great. But again, like in these situations, I hate to keep repeating myself, but only two people really know what happened. And
I think he was more asking beyond the court case, if I can put words in Hardy's mouth.
You mean like as far as having him on the team?
Yeah.
I mean, like if we're just talking about from a football standpoint, yeah. Like I think that they would, if all things were equal, they would 100% have him back.
Yeah, that would presumably move the needle if they're kind of on the fence based on what happens with the outcome of all this.
Right.
I mean,
Hardy want him here.
Hardy would know. He's been palling around with coaches.
And again, so part
Josh
of it
McDaniels and him.
Well, all right,
thick
but
as thieves.
Here's where the hard decision comes, though. You talk about getting younger at the position. It's let's say, for example, you sign Alec Pierce at $30 million per year, right? Let's just say that's what happens. Can you have Stephon Diggs back at 20 then? Or does that upset the balance of your books where, okay, well, we're still going to pay Christian Gonzalez 35 and we're going to pay Drake 65 or 70 in a year, So those are the sorts of things that you have to consider. You're in that window where you can do things like that. Is that the position where you want to break the bank at, right? Does that affect your ability to go and pursue somebody like Max Crosby, right? So if you have $50 million per year or $50 million in cash, say tied up at receiver or more than that, does that affect your ability to go and pursue somebody to help you on the other side of the ball? These are all things to consider. They all tie together. All these moves aren't made in a vacuum.
Okay. Hardy was playing pickleball with McDaniels yesterday.
That is untrue.
He's the man.
Really?
No, I saw him at pickleball when I showed up. He had just finished, and I was just starting.
That was he's a big pickleball guy now. I mean, it worked for him. He lost a ton of weight. It really worked for him.
Yeah,
has it worked for you the same way, Hardy?
Yeah, I mean it's fun and it's a decent workout. But from my understanding, I haven't seen him play. But apparently, I am not at the same level that he is at. Apparently, he's legit.
Oh, you're higher?
No, he's a much higher level. We're talking like.
Is he better than he's better than like Gronk? Didn't you play against Gronk and Edelman? Wasn't that what
Gronk
it was?
stinks. Yeah, he's no good.
Gronk's terrible. How about Edelman? Seems like he'd be good at that.
He was fine, but they took Edelman off the court before Felger and I played what we thought what had been advertised, told us it was going to be Gronk and Edelman, and instead Gronk brought in a ringer, this guy who was literally a pickleball pro, and that guy could have beat me and Felger 11-0. The only reason why we scored a point was because it was one of the points where Gronk touched the ball.
You hit it. The strategy had to be hit it to Gronk then.
Yeah, but you could. I mean, this guy, the guy's playing a different game, and from all indications, Josh plays a different game from what I play.
So he's like a pro.
He's very good from my what I have been told.
Well, the pro pickleball player was weighted down by all his jewels and everything. I mean,
the pro guy that Gronk got out there with was ridiculous.
So that's weird though, because pickleball hasn't been around for very long, right?
Centuries. Oh no, it dates back to the Aztecs.
Well, I just don't know. Is there such thing as a lifelong pickleball player? There can't be yet, right?
Well, in Egypt there was.
Yeah.
In Egypt, yeah.
While they were building the pyramids.
And discovered polypropylene so they could make the balls.
Played pickleball.
Yeah.
That's right. As the slaves worked on the pyramids, the pharaohs would play pickleball. But Hardy's in there. Don't worry, he'll get some info out of the guy. He's improving his rating as we speak to get up into those matches. All right, we'll be back. We'll finish up with Bert in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Essentials.
I saw you bop into Camp Low there. I kind of like that.
That's right. If you played that in 1993 while you were DJing a party in Winter Park, Florida, or DJing, if the crowd wasn't into it, you play that, you get them on their feet. Don't worry about it.
No doubt. No doubt. All right. It is, I would say, the same sort of class we've seen the last few years. The problem is that the cap is escalated to the point where when teams want to keep players, they generally can. And so it's hard to find high-end guys that are really worth the contracts they're getting. I would argue Milton Williams was an outlier, and good on the Patriots for recognizing that. And the reason he was an outlier is because the Eagles have so many different mouths to feed, and paying Milton Williams would set the floor for Jalen Carter and for Jordan Davis. And so, the Eagles were sort of in this unique position where it's like they have so many great players that it was, okay, can we really pay this guy too? And the answer was no. Some of the big names that'll be out there, George Pickens probably gets tagged, so he probably comes off the market. I mean, after that, I think Alec Pierce, that was a name I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to have a huge market. I think Buffalo probably gets in on him because once you get past him at receiver, you're talking about older guys like Deebo Samuel and Mike Evans. As far as the pass rushers go, Trey Hendrickson, Jalen Phillips is another one that I think would be kind of interesting for New England. Running back is actually pretty strong. So running back, you've got the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker. You have Breece Hall from the Jets. You have Travis Etienne from the Jaguars. Kyle Pitts had a really nice bounce back year this year. Could he be the Travis Kelce replacement in Kansas City? That's an interesting one. So those are the sorts of names you're talking about. Again, like the last few years, it's just that because the cap has escalated the way that it's escalated, there's not a ton of quality at the high end.
And the Falcons, you don't think will keep Pitts?
I think they could try. I mean, so the Falcons are in an interesting spot because David Njoku is going to be available too, played for Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland. And so do the Falcons view Pitts' year in 2025 as sustainable, or do they see it as a little bit fluky? He's obviously an incredible talent, but I don't know that he could block me or you. Mm-hmm. So, he's sort of, I think you need to have a very defined role for him, which the Falcons, to their credit, last year, they worked that out. So, he's not a traditional tight end. And maybe the Chiefs have that role for him and kind of the way they've used Kelce over the years. That's why I use the Chiefs as an example. I think the other part of it, again, for Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta now is you don't have to overpay for Pitts if you think that you can get Njoku anyway.
I was watching Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambliss do everything he possibly could not to turn pro, and finally he got what he wanted for now, an injunction to let him go back to school for a 6th year. Why does he not want to turn pro? And it looks like, and Fred brought this up earlier, the quarterback class is weaker this year than next.
Because he's going to get paid a lot of money to stay at Ole Miss, maybe more than he would make in the pros. And he only has 1 year starting at the highest level, so maybe he feels like he'd be a little bit better prepared for the pros if he played another year at Ole Miss. I mean, I think this is actually, guys, this is the positive that comes from NIL and from the transfer portal, is that it creates opportunities for guys to develop more in college, So, you can say maybe he should get to the pros now, and maybe there'd be a better opportunity for him to get to a second contract quicker, all that different stuff. But, I could also see if he views it as the information I'm getting back is that I'm going to be a 3rd round pick. Well, what happens to 3rd round quarterbacks? Most of them wash out, So if you think that with another year in college, I can prove myself a little bit more, and I can do a little bit more to elevate my stock. And have a better chance to be a 1st or a 2nd round pick, and those guys actually get developed because teams have a deeper investment in them, I could see that being the right choice. The risk, of course, is that I think there's a chance next year's quarterback class has more depth than this year's does, just because of, guys like Arch Manning at Texas and CJ Carr at Notre Dame who have high-end potential who could keep developing as well.
Oregon and
Yeah, Dante Moore at Oregon, definitely. There's just I don't think there's anybody you could look at right now where you'd say like, yeah, that guy's going to be like a top 5 pick, but there are a bunch of guys who have that potential.
All right. Bert Breer, thank you for joining us, sir. We appreciate all the information, and we will talk to you next week.
All right, thanks, guys. I also enjoyed your halftime take, by the way, Fred, on Bad Bunny and all of that. Thank you for saying that the other day.
Well, anything that upsets people that much for no reason, I do get excited by it.
I just can't remember ever caring who did the halftime. Like, and now all of a sudden, all of these people are deeply invested in it. It's ridiculous.
I do think it's funny. Like, it's like, like the dead Kennedys were doing it or something.
Well,
like,
I actually got to say,
Cello Biafra.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to say this too. I mean,
nothing more dangerous than the music of Bad Bunny.
You know why they have it was mission accomplished with Bad Bunny because the worldwide audience they got for that, it worked.
Right.
So, like, it was a business decision.
No,
we have all of us. Like, everybody who wants Lee Greenwood or whoever else up there, you know what that person did after turning over to Turning Point USA, right? They flipped right back over to the game. Like, they have those people. They don't need to worry about those people. The NFL is trying to get a new audience. So, like, I like the lack of understanding for this stuff is just mind blowing. It's pretty easy. These are all business decisions.
Well, the NFL and the NFL owners, the billionaires, are notorious for their, anarchistic ways.
Yeah.
They do like to upset the apple cart. There's no. I mean, the whole thing was ridiculous. It was pretty funny, actually. All right, Bert. Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Kendra Middleton is here. We will talk to her in just a moment. to answer the hotline, which is, and we'll get to Nick in a moment, because we have to ask Kendra what she would do in the situation that Nick's girlfriend was in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to ask her that. But I used to call into Hardy's show, and Kendra was explaining why she called in. I go, there's no need to explain. I used to call into Hardy's show all the time when he did it with Troop, Jerry Trupiano, and I would call in his Chachi, Larry, from wherever the hell Chachi used to be from.
From the Rooster Pin.
Well,
he had the town, though, so it sounded legitimate because it was like the Halifax or something. It was like wherever he lived down there.
And so, like wherever. It was from Middleborough? I thought it was further than that.
No, it's Middleborough.
Okay, and so it would be like Larry from Middleborough, and I'd call and go, oh, how you doing? You know, the Patriots are like, it's like chasing around chickens, you know, they get away, but when you get them, you hug them and you love them, or something stupid. And then Trupiano, like, wouldn't, and Hardy would be laughing, and Trupiano would just not even, he'd be like, he'd just not even paying attention.
Well, good luck with your chickens. Sounds like you've hatched quite a plan.
Hey.
Did he know it was you?
No, he didn't know who Fred was.
Who I was.
He didn't know who Fred was, much less who Chachi was.
No, he had no idea what was going on. I did it just to
annoy Hardy.
No, I did it to entertain Hardy.
Oh my God.
No, I did it. No, Hardy liked it. I did it to amuse Hardy. I did it. You know how it is on a weekend.
Yeah.
It gets old. So.
And not like on a gambling centric show. It's just like two dudes talking sports for 4 hours between 8 and noon. So along about 10:30, 11 o'clock, you're like, oh man, there's just nothing going on.
It's more like one dude.
Well,
it's more like one dude talking sports.
I would see Larry from Middleborough on the phone. Oh, let's talk to Larry.
Let's take him.
So my kids would be like, call Hardy, call Hardy. And so sometimes I would pull the car over and I would get out of the car so they could listen on the radio. And I would call in. And sometimes they go like, what do you want me to say? And then they would like, they were little and they'd be like, tell me what they wanted me to say. So Kendra, sometimes I have to ask Nick to answer the phones, much like you called in last night. And I know you weren't listening at 7 o'clock this morning, but do you know the story of Nicholas in 2018 when he got back from the bachelor party in Dallas?
Is this when he went to the hospital?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know that he was covered in his own feces, in his own urine.
Yes.
You know that for a day, his girlfriend, first of all, he gave her a key 4 months into the relationship.
I feel like that's normal.
For Nick.
That's a little quick.
No, I don't think so.
That's a little quick.
No, because maybe it's different for me, but I don't think so because if I I would let someone go walk my dog or like whatever.
Oh, I'd let someone stay in my house. Say I get up in the morning, hypothetically. And someone was staying over, I wouldn't make them leave at 5 o'clock in the morning. I would let them stay.
But after 4 months saying, here's a key, this is your place too.
Like a key
not
is
like
you
a
could just
your
come
place
in.
too. Yeah, but I would just let them come in.
Yeah. That's different. Giving a key is like saying there's no barrier between you and I. You may come in whenever you want. You can come to and fro whenever.
Maybe I'm just aggressive because I would be like, I need you to tell me if you're coming over.
Right, but the key... But see, the signal the key makes is you don't have to tell me you're coming over because I don't have to be here. And even if the door is locked, just come on in because you have a key.
Am I insane that I don't think that's weird?
A little bit.
Okay.
I don't think
that's
you're
fair.
No, it's not insane at all. It's just it seems fast.
Well,
after
it's
4
a
months.
good thing she did have the key.
Well, listen. So here's what happened. And put yourself in her shoes, Kendra. So she's like this, I knew this guy was a Lothario. I knew he was nothing but a gigolo. He's out, shaking that rump all over town. He ain't getting back to me. He's ghosting me. So she says, that's it. I'm going over there. And she goes over there and she opens the door. She goes in the living room. No Nick. Bah! She goes in the kitchen. No Nick. Bah! She goes, I know what's going on. She sees the bedroom doors closed. She goes, I know what's going on. Nick's in there with one of his floozies.
He's in there in the stabbing cabin.
He's in there. Who knows what's going on? What kind of combination of humans is in that room, and what are they doing? She thrusts the door open. Nicholas! No answer.
Ding, 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 ding.
No answer. Nicholas is in bed. Nicholas! You get up right now and you tell me why you're not getting back to me. Woof! Ah! What's that smell? The smell is his own poo.
Wait, I have a question. Did you replace the mattress after this?
He didn't replace the car. So he's
I'm brittle.
So he's covered in his own poo. There's pee all over the place.
I'm brittle.
Kendra, you walk in, your boyfriend.
I would never do that though. Like if they didn't respond to me, I would literally just like leave the key under the mat and like that's it.
But what if something was wrong? If you have the key, and I am being serious here, if you have a key, that means like kind of you got to check on someone.
That's why I don't think it's insane to give someone a key. I feel like 4 months is enough
Fair
time.
enough.
Fine,
Let's
but
get
you
past that.
let yourself into
Okay.
an apartment
But
and
you let him in. You open the door, and your boyfriend is laying there amongst his own pee and poo. What do you do?
Were you awake? No? Then I guess try and wake him up, but I also would
With your
probably-
hands?
Yeah.
You'd be touching his own excrement.
I mean, like, but if you care about this
He's gross.
person, you know what I'm saying?
But enough to wipe him?
After 4 months, probably not, but I feel like I would like shoulder press or
6
like
months?
or flick him on the forehead.
What's the time period in order to
poke him with a stick?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got to poke him with a stick.
I would probably flick you in the forehead, to be honest.
You're
that would
still
be
touching
my move.
him.
Yeah, but you don't poop on your forehead.
Oh, there's poo everywhere.
Kendra, it's not about where it came out. It was about the rolling.
It was a
around
crime. It was a
and
crime scene in there. It wasn't good.
I mean, he'll tell you about it. It was.
I like the stick idea.
Not yeah. Well, okay, you find a broom and then you owe it to the person to at least nudge him.
Yeah.
But then what
Maybe-
I found
maybe cold water.
Maybe poke him with a toilet brush.
Cold water would be the.
I don't want you to overthink this. It's not a tough question.
Okay.
Because the funniest thing or the most interesting thing that we learned today was what his girlfriend's reaction was to it. So it's been established, you know the guy well enough, forget the pee and the poop, but the guy's laying there. What do you do when you realize, oh my God, it looks like he's dying?
He's
What's your next
unconscious.
move?
Call 911.
Right. That's what you'd think.
Ding, ding, ding,
That is correct. What his girlfriend did. She picked him up, I guess cleaned him off, put him in clothes, and took him to urgent care.
Did you have insurance?
That's the question you're asking?
Yeah, because like to be
After
honest,
what you've been presented with?
yeah, because if I didn't have insurance, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not paying $2,000 for an ambulance. You can, whatever.
Well, no, I'm
Very proud. I think you're giving yourself more credit than you really should for being that pragmatic in that situation. We're talking about an unconscious, filth-covered person.
I would call 911.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the answer.
All right, you would call. Yeah, that's what I would do. Okay, here comes Nicholas. Get the trombone ready.
This is romantic.
Oh no, he's just going over the door.
I believe she.
Nick, come in here because of YouTube. Come in here, you old scallywag.
Yeah, you gave us so much today. Don't sell us short now.
I've gotten so good at telling the story.
Yes.
You notice how she goes around the house now and looks in the different rooms? Nick, you notice how I've added to the story?
You really do paint a picture, like painting a picture.
Like, I don't know what she did, but I
That's how you
assume she
painted
comes
the
into the... Because the
scared
front
he's gonna
door
knock
isn't
this
you're in
over.
your bedroom.
No,
The front door is in the living room, and she's like, ah! She's like, ah! And then she goes around the corner, and she's like, ah! And then she sees the bedroom door closed, and she's like, oh... And she hears, and she's like, Nicholas!
Some funny business going on in there.
And then she just finds you alone. And she's relieved but disgusted.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. What's your explanation?
So what happened was, at the time, I was just like, in bed, not feeling good, whatever.
Poop.
Apparently, I do remember there was a point. She was like, "Do you want me to call 911 or do you want to just go to urgent care?" And the thought that came to my mind is, yeah, those ambulances are freaking expensive.
Okay,
and
we
no,
need
I
to do,
don't. So
we need
bring
to
me
do
to
something about the healthcare system.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen in Canada. In Canada, you're getting the ambulance.
Any other developed nation.
Western nation, yes. You would figure that you're getting the ambulance.
So she brought me to urgent care, and they were like, "Oh no."
Well, I could see not calling an
And
ambulance.
then they called the ambulance.
See,
and
I
brought
could
me
see-
to
Did you
the
buy a
hospital.
new mattress though?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay,
what about the car?
Same car.
No. The
Still
car's
driving
in there.
Put yourself in the car.
No, he was covered in poop.
driving it.
Kendra, I'm not making
Drove
it
it
up.
to work today.
Kendra, okay, here's the deal. He was in bed basically for 36 hours. During that time, he relieved himself several times.
She cleaned you up though, but you're still driving the poop mobile.
Is there pictures?
Listen, she must have helped me like find clothes to like change up and to change and everything like that. Before
What'd you do
going
with the
into
clothes
car.
you had on? Did you have to come back and reckon with that?
I have no clue.
Or did she just burn them?
She probably burned them. She probably threw them away or something.
Maybe she's saving them in a bag so if you ever mess up, she can go, you owe me.
For
And she
5
just
years.
dumps-
Yeah.
You helped her practice for the kids.
So, but that my question is this: is that obviously take the ambulance out of it? I get not getting an ambulance. I actually understand that. An ambulance is if there's like a wellness check.
Yeah.
So like, but you.
Yeah, you've seen those.
Yeah, I've been in them. But the thing is that thought it would be a good picture to take pictures of myself in and have a good time. This is all gonna be funny the next day. So Nick, but what I don't like if you okay, child much more minor thing. Your child like has a fever or something like that. You're not taking him to the urgent care, right? You take him to the hospital.
Yeah, we bring them to pediatrics. Or something like that. Yeah.
See, that's the thing is that like I mean, you got to think of how many times. I mean, when my son, my firstborn, was young, I mean, we took him to the hospital the first time. There's no reason we shouldn't have been in the hospital. There's no reason we should have been in there. Yeah. We were like hypochondriac.
I think every new parent is like that. Andrew Callahan has talked about it, and he's telling me this story how he's like embarrassed afterward and how they went to, I don't want to, share it too much, but I said we took our daughter to the emergency room because she wouldn't stop crying, and it's like you're convinced there's something wrong. They're screaming like they're being stabbed in the stomach, and I think every new parent does that at least once.
I think he had a 101.5 fever that wouldn't go down. And they were very nice and they didn't say anything. But then when you have your second kid, you're like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, there's still so much wrong with our second one that we've never.
Yeah, you don't even fix it.
No, it's never even been looked at. It's like, you'll be fine.
But Kendra, you got to feel like if once you've saved the life of your partner, that regardless of the amount of time you've been in a relationship, the chances of marriage get very high.
I guess. I don't know. I don't want to get married. So I would care for
What if someone
but...
saved your life? What if you were dating a guy and he jumped in front of a bus for you or took a bullet for you?
And he wanted me to marry him because of that?
No. Kendra?
No, that's a fair question.
No, not because of that, because he was in love with you. And so how long after did you get engaged? After she cleaned you up?
2.5 years. 3.
How long you been in radio there, buddy? You might want to get closer.
A little
to that
closer to the mic.
Sorry. You can tell he's relaxed because he's just leaning back away from the mic.
So we 3 years after we got engaged. Yeah.
Yeah. But you knew then that she was the one for you.
I knew. Yeah.
Yeah, you knew after she did that. All right. Well, there you go.
Well, that's our Friday the 13th story. Once again, thank you, Nick. You got 36 seconds? I've been told this goes on for a while.
He's on borrowed time, so good for him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's whose mic did I just turn off? Yours. Okay, yes, he is on borrowed time. All right, Kendra, the Super Bowl, how'd you do?
Hardy and I got our butts kicked. Butts kicked.
The only bets I ended up winning, and by the way, I bought down the total because I was so convinced it was going under, and I was convinced that was going to cash. I bought it down to either 39.5 or 37.5, to get the better odds. That got blown up.
Mm-hmm.
The stupid Ramondre Stevenson touchdown at the end. The only bet that I cashed were the punts.
Yeah.
Over 7.5, which went over in the first half.
Yeah. I was going to say, I told 12 this when I was texting him yesterday about me coming in. The 3 lessons that I learned this season: you have way too much time to sit and think about the Super Bowl and what to put on it. Don't treat it any differently than any other game. 3 bets, 4 bets max. Don't go insane with it because it's really easy to because you sit there for so long. And then don't go insane Thanksgiving and Christmas because it's such short weeks for these guys that those games were insanity. And then take more risks with your totals and futures in the beginning of the season because 30% of playoff teams every single year are new from the year prior.
Oh.
Yeah, that Patriots team and Seattle teams were a good lesson. I had Kenneth Walker as the MVP. I had Kenneth Walker to get 5+ yards rushing in every quarter. I had the Seattle defense scoring a touchdown. I had Derek Hall getting a sack, which was huge odds. I got that from a sharp. Kendra, I was talking to sharps.
I love this for you. I was telling Hardy on the break, though.
Not Kenneth Walker.
I got so caught up in all this stuff. I'm doing like Stephen A. Smith's picks.
yes.
I'm doing like, oh, I like this one too. Look at that. It's like, oh, for only $10.
That's
and it's
what I'm
like
saying.
plus the 6,800. Okay, let's do this.
Don't treat the Super Bowl any differently than any other game because you have so long to sit there and
I
analyze
treat
it.
it so much differently.
I know, me too, but I shouldn't.
But that's
the lesson, though.
Normal people that are gambling, though, are doing it to add some spice to the game. You're not doing it to actually make money. This is not an investment scheme.
Yep.
Because if it is true, even with units and everything, what percentage of bets do you have to win in order to be a good gambler?
So I think that in the community, it's like if you're a positive gambler, you're a good gambler. So for me personally, I was super positive on this season, so I don't care about the Super Bowl. It's fine. I lost money, but at the end of the day, I had a really good season, so I'll take that. But I think if you're a positive bettor, then that's kind of the idea.
Yeah, because, I mean, the market returned 10%. I mean, you don't even have to worry about that.
Our interceptions prop.
Yeah.
That didn't come through.
Sam wanted to throw one so bad. I was standing on the freaking chair at Hooters.
First pass, yeah.
How was Hooters?
It was great. I had a really good time. I loved it. I did tell this. I know we have to go to break, but I was telling 12 too. It got so quiet at one point that we could hear them washing dishes in the back.
Yeah, how pissed were the people at Hooters?
Yeah.
Did
People
you take-
stayed though. They learned from the 28-3 game though. Nobody left.
Oh,
But
there wasn't enough of a score disparity to leave the game. You had to keep watching the game.
But yeah, we could hear them in the back clinking the dishes together and washing them probably around the halfway through the third quarter.
Did you take any enjoyment out of all their displeasures?
No, because
Not even a little bit.
No, because like I say this on my show all the time. I want money in the market. I want a parade because it makes things more fun. It means there's more jobs, there's more opportunity. Like I want a party. Don't you want a party? Everybody's way happier, less grumpy in the winter time. It makes our jobs easier to talk about a loss because it's easier to talk about a loss and the things that they did wrong.
Yes, and it makes the off season more interesting.
Yeah, and so I was happier. Like I was happy either way, to be honest, because if I got a win with the Patriots, like we're gonna party, we're gonna have a parade, there's gonna be a ton of money in the market. But if they lost, then it's easier for us to do our jobs for the next couple of weeks or months.
You know what that is? That's Zen. That's the yin and the yang. Either way, don't control what you can't control. You understand?
Let go.
Let live and let go. Let God and let go.
Go to
let
break.
Go and let God.
Damn it.
See the sign all the time. How do you not remember?
I think I have dyslexia, except for it goes one above the other. You know? All right. Who knows? I'm looking at the statue of Bach that seems to be in that room. I know more things about that statue of
your
Bach
best
when I've been
thinking
bald.
got you there.
That's right.
Yet, think.
Very
Those
good.
two are in opposition.
There you go. All right. We'll be back with our award-winning sponsored email segment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right. Low test. I'm up a tree.
You know.
We're the best friends it can be, my buddy and me.
Now,
Me.
more of your best morning buddies, Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Shh. Shh. All right, this is exciting. This is what happens when you're powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. You get big-time phone calls like the one we're about to take. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. We've been talking about young Nicholas and how he was saved by his girlfriend at the time, now his beautiful wife and the mother of his children. And she is on the phone now. Hello, darling.
Hi there.
All right, so it was your idea to call in. What is the reason that you're calling in?
Well, I felt like I had to clear my name a little bit.
You're a hero. You're the hero in this story.
You saved him. You're the reason he's here.
Thank you, but you were all saying I didn't call an ambulance right away.
Oh, we did. Yes.
Yeah. Oh no, that was odd.
Yeah, that point's a little strange.
So Nick doesn't remember what happened. You're going to have to tell it from your perspective as the only conscious person in the room. Why it is that, like what happened, and please spare us no detail, the cleaning process and why you chose to take him to urgent care as opposed to calling 911.
Sure. Well, you've got the first part of the story right. I definitely did think he was ghosting me. And I definitely busted in there like I was going to break up a tryst of some kind. And then found him, barely responsive on the bed. So
how much excrement?
I think you guys are exaggerating. There was not that much. But he definitely had been in bed for a while, and it was not a clean situation.
Did you know, based on the smell, what had happened before you saw anything?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't quite like that.
Which one of your senses was assaulted first?
The room was very dark. I feel like that was the first thing. It was the middle of the day, and the room was pitch black, and I was I couldn't see anything. He was making some very weird noises, and I was again, before I came in the door, I thought those moans were something else.
So you did think, so my story, my fictional story is true. You did think those moans were him having sex.
Oh yes, I absolutely thought there was someone else in there with him.
Oh my God!
What a story I weave! Wow. I'll tell you.
I'm not a fighter by nature, but I was ready to throw down.
Wait, I have a question. If you found another woman in there, were you going after her or going after Nick?
That's a great question. I'm not sure. Probably Nick, because at that point...
It's never the other woman, babe. Yep. Yeah, girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
she's kicking everyone's ass.
He had given me his keys, so I was like, if you've given me your keys, that feels like a big deal. If you're with another woman, we have big fish to fry.
No one doubts the legitimacy of you being upset if he was with another woman. That's certainly for sure.
So in trying to talk to him, you realized he wasn't coherent, and you were going to have to get him cleaned up a little bit. Talk to me about the decision that was then made to go to the CVS as opposed to the hospital.
Well, so it was kind of two things. He would kind of come in and out of he'd be able to talk to me. He'd tell me some things, but he couldn't tell me everything.
Did you try a leeching before getting professional help?
No, I did not.
Did you make a bowl of chicken soup beforehand? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I did not.
All right, so you go in. Go ahead.
But he also he refused to let me help him. So he needed to go to the bathroom. So he got up to go to the bathroom, found himself clothes. I'm pretty sure it's been a while, so I can't entirely remember, but I'm not sure he was wearing clothes when I got there. So he found some
So
kind
you
of
really
shorts.
had to replace the mattress for real.
Yeah, it was not I didn't have to deal with any of that after the fact. He wasn't home for a while after that.
No,
so honestly, I don't even remember. But yeah, and then, he didn't want to go. I was like, do you want to go to the hospital? And he said no. And I was like, okay. And I realized like you said, he did not have insurance at the time. He had just he'd had the job he had with that carried his insurance had just he'd just gotten let go. So I was very afraid to call an ambulance and leave him saddled with, a $200,000 bill that he couldn't pay. So we went to urgent care. And also he was talking to me. So I thought, it can't be that bad, right?
Right.
If he can talk to me.
Of course, especially with him soiling the bed and all. That's
yeah, well, that maybe was not my best choice.
Listen.
But you did go through the medications because the hospital records indicate that they knew he had taken 19 Tylenol over the course of the week based on information you provided.
Yeah, there were lots of empty medication, like, tablet things, lots of boxes. He definitely tried to, medicate himself. It obviously didn't work. He was more serious than that. So, yeah, there was a bit of a search and find when I was there of like all the things that, because he hadn't talked to me in 3 or 4 days, and he hadn't talked to anybody in three or 4 days. So
this is good information. This actually answers the question because Nick was more communicative than I had originally believed. So if she were able to ask him if he wanted to go to the hospital, he said no. That's the reason for not calling the ambulance, along with the insurance.
Again, I
else.
understand not calling the ambulance. I don't understand the urgent.
My takeaway from this is that it is okay to, and now encouraged, to be insane. Because if you break in, not you didn't break in, but if you have a key to your boyfriend's house and you think he's cheating on you, you can go over there and either find out for yourself or maybe save their life. So I think that it is now an encouraging behavior to be insane.
Well, Brittany, you know that.
There you go.
You know when Nick shows up to the hospital now, what happens?
Like that day or now?
No. Now, if Nick was to go to the hospital today for whatever reason, how would he be served? He would be put right where?
Yeah, I see. He goes like right in his own room. It's basically like he gets his own
concierge.
Gets his own concierge service. He gets his own private room, and
he's got the Mass General Black card.
Yeah, even though he was a terrible patient while he was there, but that's fine.
He was a terrible patient?
Oh yeah, he'd take the oxygen thing that they put on your finger.
Yeah.
He pulled that off a million times. Didn't want to wear it. Didn't want to take the medicine they gave him. Like he just was he was just a crabby guy in there. He didn't want to do anything they made him do.
Was he delirious?
A little, but I think he's just, I think that's just him. He's just a little obstinate sometimes.
There's nothing more invading than that oxygen thing they put on your finger.
Oh, my God.
That light clamp.
It's like a catheter.
Really is. It's very invasive.
It's like being intubated.
They had to give him the kids one that they put on your ear. He took it off
Nicholas!
Nick! Be nicer!
All right. Well, Brittany, I'll tell you, you are a hero. Did you know at that point you were going to get married? Because you were so relieved he wasn't with another woman.
No, I don't think I had. It was still early days then, so I did not know we were gonna. It was, we were gonna get married. But
see, it wasn't
like
the expectation,
Fred.
No, what I'm saying is that Brittany, you can use this against him in any argument.
You can be a good person
for the rest of your lives.
Oh yes, and I do, and I fully intend to use it forever. I saved his life. Yeah, for sure. Because
Now,
I could have just written him off.
Nick didn't have insurance. He underwent open heart surgery and everything else.
Yeah.
What was he saddled with, like a 6-figure hospital bill after that?
No, thank goodness. Some insurance you can get retroactively, so they were able to backdate it to the last time he had insurance. So he did okay. I think at that point, obviously, when they took him to the hospital, it was sort of like, we'll figure it out later.
Right.
It doesn't matter then about the money. So.
Do you think the scar is hot?
Yes, the scar is very hot.
What about that ticking you can hear audibly from 5 feet away in his chest?
That tick means he's alive, so I gotta love that too.
Oh. Brittany, do you realize that we're asking you all the questions about insurance and things because there's no way Nick would know? So it's good that you are here.
Yes. Oh, yes. No, of course. Yeah.
All right.
he didn't know. Yeah.
Well, Brittany, listen, you are indeed a hero. Thank you so much for calling in. We do appreciate it. It's a wonderful story, and thank you.
And congratulations on all the upcoming blessed events.
Yeah?
Okay, thanks.
Oh,
Thank
does
you
Nick
guys.
use that kid as an excuse? All right. Well, thank you, Brittany. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, there you go. The lovely Brittany, the Nicholas Gemelli's wife,
That's
who
the
wanted to
full
call in
story.
to clear her name. There's no reason to clear her name. She did the right thing, except for the urgent care part, but nonetheless, Nick got the help he needed. There is an insurance problem in this country, though, if you are riddled with things that could kill you, and your major concern is how you're going
the ambulance
to get that
bill.
health care. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's not the world's best thing in the world. All right, Kendra.
Ding, 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 ding.
We covered a lot of ground in sports this time since you were here.
Yeah.
But the onus was not on you.
Yeah.
What's the best future right now?
Yeah.
Ooh. I am this weekend tonight. My whole thing is to dig into the Formula One season, and then after that, we'll
One
get
that we care about.
I know.
I don't have one, to be honest. I wasn't prepared for this.
Good
I don't
for
have.
you.
I don't have any futures right now.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
I will after I dig into the Formula One season. I'll start the tournament stuff for the NCAA, and then we'll move into March Madness, and we'll roll from there. So I'm assuming I'll see you guys again in March.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
For the
Absolutely.
tournament. Yeah. Maybe a Masters show.
Yes.
Well, if you ever want to be on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Golf Show.
Oh, there's a good chance of that. Once we
Hub-
get to Masters weekend, oh, yeah.
Sports Up Golf Club.
I'm sorry,
We
but
should get hats.
Henry Rollins is called. Henry Rollins.
There
hello.
he is.
Good morning.
Hello, Henry.
I'm very concerned for the health of young Mr. Gemelli. As you know, we only get one vessel to carry us through this mystery that we call life. So this young man should start eating fresh fruit and lifting free weights. And every occasional day, I will pop out of the darkness and punch him in the chest. And when he is man enough, it will succeed.
All right, thank you.
Is that RFK Jr.?
Close enough. It's Henry Rollins. It's a very old story that Henry Rollins told about how his gym teacher would punch him in the chest every day to see if he had gained muscle. And don't worry about it. It's just something that Adam and I enjoy.
We love Henry Rollins.
We love when Henry Rollins calls in. All right. So, Kendra, how do people find you if they in this lonely world? They
Yeah.
would like to see Kendra Middleton. How is that possible?
You can follow me everywhere at Kendra Middleton. Now that football season's over, I will be moving into other content. So I'll be around. I'll be doing stuff. I'll see you guys in March.
Yes, and will you be doing you'll be on this weekend.
Yeah, so I'm on tomorrow morning, my normal slot, and then Joe Murray and I are on 10 to 2, I believe, on Sunday.
Beautiful.
We'll be doing all things Olympics, some sports pop culture crossover, definitely some food stuff. So
You sure Joe wants to do that?
he's a skinny guy. It's his favorite thing in the world is not talking about food, but I'm going to make it happen.
All right, please do. Get him out of his comfort
And
zone.
we're going to say microwave about 37 times probably.
All right, because that's how the kid on his show says microwave.
Yeah, microwave. It's so good.
And
So
there's
do you
no
like
speech
ma-
impediment. Okay.
Wait, do you have it? Oh, okay. I was
No,
going to
it's
say.
a different one.
All right.
All right.
Perfect. Love
Thank
you
you,
guys. Be
Kendra.
safe. Have a good weekend.
All right, have a wonderful weekend. We will be back to take the ship to dock. All right. We are Toucher and Hardy. What a week of shows post Super Bowl. Saying goodbye to so many of our football friends, but free agency, not just around the corner. So that seems good. We will all be here for President's Day except for Adam, who, don't worry, is not going anywhere by plane.
I'll be I'll be here on Monday. I'll just be out to the end of the week. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm working Monday, so I can take Thursday, Friday off.
Oh, well, we'll all be here.
Yeah.
We'll all be here. There's someone in inflatable costumes, so Kendra now has lost her mind.
That's right. That's it. All she has to do is see that. It's another half hour. That's it.
And Bob Bronson is just as delighted as she is.
If Dan Roach were here, the place might just explode from excitement.
We would lose Danny for a while if he was sitting here. That's true.
I think the Super Bowl loss upset Danny because he didn't come on. We didn't ask him on the show again, but he didn't come on the show. I think that Super Bowl loss might have upset him a little bit.
He was treading in that direction before. He was a little snippy at you before, if you remember.
Well, he's not mad at me.
He said, "Can I finish?"
Oh, Danny's not mad at me.
I'm
I bold enough to say, and you know me, I'm friends with Dan. Like, I've done things socially with Dan. Mm-hmm. I've gone to games with him. He's gone to Milo's games.
Mm-hmm. You're being a dink.
I could text him. He texts me a lot. He texts all you guys. You guys are all friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's got no reason to be mad at me. All right. What's going on, Hardy, as we end the show?
Spin Magazine putting this one out. I don't know the original source material, probably from TikTok, but a woman saw Chad Kroeger in a casino bar.
I sadly saw this.
Chad Kroeger from Nickelback. Be forewarned, he's been drinking, but still was quite accommodating.
Chad, what? Can you sing for me one little time?
Would you shut the up?
Can you sing for me one little time?
Yes, what?
Just Rockstar. Can you give me a little verse?
I'm through standing in line, clubs never get in. It's like the bottom of the night. I'm never gonna win. Would you off?
Now, a couple things about that. He's actually smiling and stuff, so he's swearing, but he's not being like a dick. Obviously, he's saying how these guys up until his age can drink like heavily all the time and stay thin is really upsetting to me. and then also, I'm surprised he's being nice because you'll recall Chad Kroeger from Nickelback. I interviewed him one time, and then it occurred to him at a festival, and it occurred to him when he was driving away on the golf cart that, wait a second, that guy was screwing with me. So he wanted to come back and find me so he could beat me up and give me what for.
Put up your dukes.
He wanted to put up his dukes. Chad Kroeger wanted to fight me, and never had I been more excited in my entire life than knowing that Chad Kroeger was asking for me, and I'm like, well, I'm here. I'm the same place.
How did it dawn on him later that
I don't
you're messing with him?
I could ask you about interviews. The only one there's a couple I remember exactly, like Power Man 5000, where I just asked him questions about what was going to happen in the future, like who was going to win the World Series.
Because they claim to be from the future.
And he actually took that kind of well. I was obviously like making fun of him in like a kind of non-obvious way of some sort. You know, it was a festival, so I was interviewing a lot of bands. Obviously, I didn't like Nickelback, so I was probably screwing with him a little bit, and he was fine, and I think he was kind of wary when it was over, like looking at me funny. And then he got in the golf cart, and maybe the guy in the golf cart driving him was like, whoa, that was tough, or I don't know what happened. I just know that whoever was with our station got something on their radio that Chad Kroeger was super pissed at me and wanted to come find me and kick my ass. And that delighted me. The other guy was DJ Lethal. He's the one from Limp Bizkit, right?
Yeah.
He called the station while he was in town and said that he wanted to come to the station and kick my ass.
Okay.
And that was a great delight, too.
And the guys from Incubus, they figured it out during the interview. They need to know.
I'll give Incubus this. I was extraordinarily drunk. So at least there was that. And the talented one, who's the guitar player who works with other artists, he rolled with the punches. It was Brandon that didn't have time. Our modern day Shakespeare.
Well, he accused you of being unprofessional and flatulent.
Yeah, it's the second one. I don't like that.
I wasn't flatulent. That had to be Bradley J. It only makes sense if you put the dots together.
I smell like flatulence.
Oh, baby. Again, and I have no reason to lie. I have no idea how I ended up like that.
That's right. Someone slipped you a Mickey.
I swear to God, I have no. That was the middle of the day. I hadn't been drinking since like 8 o'clock in the morning. I hadn't been doing shots. Like, I don't know what was going on. I've been drinking wine.
We hung out after that interview, you and I, and watched whatever the next band was going on was. And you were asking me, you're like, am I drunk right? And I'm like, no, you're not. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like,
yeah,
I've been with you all day. And
no,
you
I
haven't been
remember
pounding.
I still did a stage announcement that night. But there you go. I don't know what the hell was going on.
It wasn't for Incubus, though.
No, it was not. They threatened not to play, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's happening. They're giving up they're going to give up that paycheck after they already came here.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it for us. Zolak and Bertrand are in next. Everyone have a great weekend. Bye.